Welcome to Curtin Malaysia,
an Australian university situated in the vibrant city of Miri,
home to Malaysia's century-old petroleum industry
and gateway to Borneo's spectacular national parks.
This is where expert teaching staff guide students to discovery in the fields of engineering,
science,
commerce,
and the arts.
At Curtin Malaysia, you receive a global education.
And the distance between the Malaysian and Perth campuses
is no distance at all.
You will learn in world-class facilities.
Or your classroom might be the stunning natural beauty of Borneo.
Here, students from over 45 countries share their culture, knowledge,
and experiences.
And innovation comes from multiple points of view.
Beyond academic achievement, Curtin Malaysia prides itself on a culture that promotes community engagement
and develops the leaders of tomorrow.
This is where you have the space to study,
achieve,
and discover.
And where colleagues become lifelong friends.
Curtin Malaysia is about following your passion,
achieving your potential,
and gaining a degree that prepares you for the dynamic global marketplace.
Hi. I think we're live.
Yeah.
So why are we mute? Why are we mute? We should not be mute. Hi guys, can you hear me? Are we good?
Yep.
Yep, fantastic. All right, hi. My name is Jane.
Hi, I'm Dean.
And he's Dean. So we'll be your host today for our first webinar with Curtin Malaysia called Going Places with a Curtin Degree. So, when did you graduate?
Me? Oh, well, I would say about, it's close to 20 years ago, you know, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
I graduated 2002. What about you?
Slightly after from than you. Yeah,
Right.
It was in 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
This is my curtain bear. So when I graduated,
so cute, eh?
yeah, this guy graduated with me, so he's 18 years old.
Ah.
Right? I remember I did the summer graduation in Perth. Actually, I did a 3+0 with Metro in
Okay, all right. So when did you graduate? Did you graduate here in Malaysia? Or?
No, I did a 3+0 here in Malaysia, then I graduated in Perth. So you can actually do that as well. You can actually study everything in Malaysia and then have a convocation at Perth.
Yeah, that is the beauty of Curtin. You can just study in any one of the Curtin University in any part of the world. You know, we have Maldives, we have
5.
Yeah, we have 5,
Singapore,
right? Singapore,
we have
Malaysia, Maldives, Sri
Lanka.
Lanka.
No,
and
we have
Hong Kong. Is one, right?
No. You're getting this wrong.
Is it?
No, you're getting this wrong. There's actually 5 campuses.
Yeah.
Right? So there is Sri Lanka, Singapore,
oh, sorry.
Malaysia.
Yeah. You have Mauritius.
Yes. Singapore, Dubai, Mauritius. Right?
Yeah.
And then Perth and KL. Sorry, not KL, Miri. Right, so that makes it 5.
Yep.
Can we say the 5 again?
What was that again?
What was the 5? Perth?
So you have Perth,
right?
Okay, Singapore, Dubai, Mauritius, and of course
Malaysia. Right, so that makes our 5. Okay, right. So this is our special webinar series where we have 6 Malaysian alumni who graduated with degrees in engineering, business, mass communications from Curtin campuses in Malaysia and Perth, who will give an insight to their successful careers and how their Curtin education and highly regarded Curtin degrees made a difference for them. They will also talk about current and emerging trends in their respective industries. Yeah.
And of course, we will be splitting it into 3 different sessions for today. Okay. And of course, as you all know that all our panelists are actually our alumni, and the moderators, they themselves are the existing students in the campus.
That's the first time we're ever doing this.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's like pretty amazing.
So we are actually getting the student themselves to be involved with all this with the alumni.
Yes.
So they want to get to know more insights from the industry per se.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a one Curtin family thing, you know. So the university, the current students, and also the alumni.
Yeah. So of course, Curtin is actually the largest international campus. Curtin Malaysia, sorry. Okay, Curtin Malaysia is the largest Curtin international campus. All right. So it's been here in Malaysia for 21 years already.
21
yes,
years.
Yes. Yeah. So
wow.
of course, a lot of people did not realize that that's how long Curtin is already been here in Malaysia. Is it? So yeah.
Since
Curtin,
1999 then.
Yeah.
Wow.
1999. So
Wow.
21 years, Curtin.
Wow. No, yeah, we've celebrated our 20th anniversary last year at the Australian High Con, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great to have that.
Yeah.
And the fun part is the students can study the same course curriculum as students at the main campus in Perth and other Curtin campuses. So study materials, academic, exams, all are identical. And it's the same quality, but more affordable. Why? Because ringgit, right?
Yes, it is in ringgit Malaysia, so you don't need to pay in Aussie. Okay, so yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, the same quality, the same education. All right, the same certificate from Australia themselves. Just that it's be at a lower price, which is in Malaysian ringgit. So that is the beauty of why to choose study in Curtin Mary.
And also, do you realize that Miri looks exactly like Perth? Remember when we went to Miri?
Yes.
It looks exactly like
Yeah,
Perth,
it's
right?
exactly
The
like
campus
Perth.
looks exactly like Perth.
Yeah, the campus, mid-campus looks exactly like a Bentley campus. Okay, even the lifestyle is still the same like in Australia. So, yeah.
Yeah, why spend the extra money, right?
Yeah.
Save it, go for a holiday. Yeah, so start in Malaysia, then transfer to study abroad later. You have opportunity to transfer to main Curtin campus in Perth, or you can do the branch campuses in Singapore, Dubai, Mauritius, and do it on student exchange, or you can even do a 3+0 like I did, and then just graduate there later. Okay, so we're gonna move on, and do know that there is actually a giveaway.
Yeah.
So
do stay on, okay? Do stay on, because we do have quite a number of giveaways throughout the whole seminar. Okay, so from right now until to the evening, okay, there will be 6 amazing giveaways. Okay,
right.
And no, it's not mugs. Okay, it's so much better than mugs. Okay,
Right.
so you will get. Should we announce right now?
Yeah, it's actually the gold colored printing T-shirt.
Ah.
And if you share this live video and comment on Curtin Malaysia, you comment #Curtin Malaysia, then you get to stand a chance to win a limited edition gold colored T-shirt. Right, one lucky winner will be announced at the end of every session.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So what do we do next?
I think we'll give way to our Pro Vice Chancellor to give his opening speech then.
Right. So we're gonna kick off this webinar with a message from one of our favorite people. Simon is amazing.
Yeah, he's a very amazing person. He's wonderful. So I think it's just best for you guys to hear from he himself.
Right. So Simon Leunick was appointed Pro Vice Chancellor and President of Curtin Malaysia in January this year. He was formerly Curtin University's Associate Deputy Vice Chancellor. Right. International, and operating from Malaysia, continues his role as ASEAN Dean, responsible for driving Curtin's strategy in the region. Under his leadership, Curtin's oldest and largest campus continues to thrive and expand its footprint as a central education and research hub for the ASEAN region.
That's a lot, okay? I mean, he's all the best experiences, he's here in Malaysia, okay? So without further ado, let's hear from what he got to say.
All right.
Hi, and welcome to this very first webinar series by Curtin Malaysia. It's exciting that we're putting these kinds of programs together in these COVID times. It's a strange time with the pandemic, but we're all learning new skills and new ways of doing things. So it's fantastic that you can join us here for this today. Curtin Malaysia has had to take all of its teaching online and will so for the rest of 2020. Hopefully in 2021 we'll have a blended form of learning where we have a lot of online programs, but also incorporate and go back to a lot of our face-to-face classes and laboratories as well. This will be a unique opportunity for you to hear what are some of the opportunities for you in the future and how to use your time at Curtin Malaysia for the best possible outcomes in your career. You're going to hear from graduates from business, from engineering, and from some of the other sciences as well, and mass communication. I think you're really going to enjoy listening to the graduates, our Curtin alumni, who have moved on from their studies at Curtin to such wonderful careers. I thank the graduates, and I thank the Curtin Malaysia alumni for all they're doing, putting these seminars together. I think it's a fantastic initiative, and I hope that you'll really join in and enjoy it. I'd also like to thank my staff who have worked closely with Jane and Dean from the Curtin Malaysian Alumni Association to actually bring this idea to life. So enjoy today, learn lots, and we hope to see you at Curtin Malaysia.
All right, that was interesting, right?
Yeah.
So nice to hear from Simon.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not waste any more time. I'm sure all of you are anxious and you really want to get to know about, what's this whole Going Places with Curtin is about, right? So let's bring on our first moderator, right? The moderator will be a fantastic person. Yes, you wanna know why? Because he's MC 20 events.
Yeah.
20 campuses events. That's a lot, right? And he's a student ambassador for 2016 to 2018. He's a final year chemical engineering student, and his name is Jaron Thomas. Where's Jaron?
Jerry?
Are you here? Hi, Jaron.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, Jane. Hi, Dean. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Very good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just being safe. Yeah, just remember you guys have your masks with you. Yes, I have them with me. Yeah.
How are you doing? Tell me, why did you choose chemical engineering as a...
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you want my honest answer?
Yes, please.
Okay. So basically, there were three main reasons: my best friend, my parents, and myself. So basically, all of them have 33.33% on the reason why I became a chemical engineer. And all of them had their contributions and thoughts on why I should do this degree. And plus, I loved maths and science, and I loved how everything we do, or in the manufacturing sector, really has chemical behind it. So I was really interested in that. So that's the main reason. So yeah. So shout out to my parents. Thank you so much for making me do this.
Well, thank you, parents. Okay, so we're going to leave you with the screen, so the whole 1 hour is yours. So go ahead, Jerry. Take it away.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dean and Dean. Okay, so hi guys. So I'm Jaren Thomas George, and today I'll be your moderator for the engineering session. So like they said, I'm a final year student in chemical engineering, and we are really lucky because we have two amazing alumni who just recently graduated here to share their experience with you today. So our first panelist is none other than Mr. Johnny Wong. He's a graduate engineer from environmental engineering of the class 2018. He currently works as an environment advisor at Sarawak Shell Berhad. So he attained his bachelor's degree, like I said, in 2018 in environmental engineering and now contributes towards Shell's climate change ambition. Amazing, Johnny. And he's actively involved in monitoring, analyzing, as well as reporting to Shell Malaysia's environmental performance, and especially related to the greenhouse gases. As his secondary role, he facilitates conversation among HSSE, that is the leadership on cash savings and efficiency gain initiatives that generate greater value for the company. Ever since his time in Curtin, Malaysia, he has been very active, especially joining clubs and organizations. And his prominent one being the president of the Student Council of the term 2017. He's also a recipient of the Best Environmental Engineering Student Award in 2019. And during his free time, he said that he enjoys himself playing difficult video games and as well as binge watching brilliant TV shows. I do not know how brilliant his TV shows are, but all of them are good. And a fun fact about him, he says he drinks way too much water than an average person should. So let's bring up Johnny. Johnny, where are you at?
Hey, Jareen, nice to see you. You
Yeah,
know,
nice.
for the people listening in, me and Jareen, we go all the way back. I've met him, I think, back in 2016, and we have been good friends ever since. Yeah, great
Yes,
friends,
good
Jareen.
friends. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Fun fact, we both ran for student council back then. But yeah, it's okay. You won and I got better experiences. We'll get into that later. But anyway,
Yeah.
Johnny, yes, like you're saying, you drink way too much water than an average person should. What does that mean?
Well, normally people, for normal adult male, you're supposed to drink, I believe, 3 liters of water a day. So normally, what I do, I think I drink around 5 liters a day. If I'm out of water, I feel like my brain is no longer working. I feel like I'm dehydrated. I can no longer think. So when I need to think, I will take a glass of water and chug it down, and then I'll be able to think.
Oh my God. Okay, so meantime, I'm going to introduce our second panelist. So I think you rather refill your glass because it looks empty. So you can answer my questions after this. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce our second panelist for today. It's none other than Miss Chu Wei. She is an NPI engineer at Carrion Sendirian Berhad. She graduated in Electronics and Communications Engineering of the class 2015. She works in a prestigious multinational company, and she started off her Curtin journey at Curtin Malaysia, and she later transferred to Curtin Perth in her final year. As a Curtin student, she served active in Curtin Volunteers and Isaac, holding various leadership positions, and served in the humanitarian affairs of Curtin Malaysia as well. And as a part of her short-term mission with Curtin Humanitarian Affairs. She was actually a teacher, English teacher in Vietnam. Wow. With the exposure from this involvement, she had acquired the life skills which prepared her for something called life. Okay. And for that, she holds one belief. She holds on to one belief, that is, seize all opportunities. And when Curtin approached her to be a panelist, she said, she too sees this opportunity. So let's give it up to our next panelist for the hour, Miss Chu Wei. So, hi. Okay, I think you're, yes, hello.
Yeah.
How are
Hi,
you doing?
Darren.
Hi,
Hi,
Wei.
Darren. Hi, Johnny.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
guys have met each other before? No?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, we sort of met back in the days.
Yeah.
Actually, I found out that she was a Facebook friend of mine, and I don't know how
Oh,
it turned out to be that way. But after that, I think after my first few years in university, and then after that, we did not connect anymore. So it's very good to see you as well, Wei.
yeah.
Nice to see you. I did not know that
Wow.
we are Facebook friends.
Okay, that's good to know. A very scary fact, Johnny, but a good fact indeed. Okay. So, Wei, you said that his fun fact was he drinks too much water. I think I'm not going to ask you that. I think we all drink normal amount of water on that. But you said seize all opportunities. Why did you say that?
Yes. In fact, I say that because I have seized a lot of opportunities in my life throughout, even though when I was studying or at work. And one of the experience I could think of was back then when I was in Curtin Perth. I was dealing with my final year project and I took up an opportunity to organize an event. It's like an event for our Isaac team, like the end of the year event. It was quite hectic back then, but then I took the opportunity because I thought that would be my final year in Perth, so why not take it up? And I didn't regret because I met a group of people which we became lifelong friends after that. Yeah, so seize the
Wow.
opportunities. Yeah.
That's great. So I think we all three indirectly seized opportunities. Me in other terms, Johnny in drinking more water, and you taking up this opportunity, I would say. But okay, so everyone wants to not only hear about all of this, but I think let's go into the questions. So I have a set of interesting questions. Don't worry, it's not very hard. It's not exam related. Okay, guys, I think you guys will be able to answer it well. So I think my first question to both of you: why choose engineering as your careers? So I think we give Johnny. So why choose engineering?
Well, Thomas, Jareen pula, Thomas. Jareen. That is indeed an interesting question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made me choose engineering as my career and why did I do so is I think I would take a step back to answer this question. I would say there are two buckets of people. So once you finish uh, secondary school, there will be two buckets of people. One that has a clear direction in life. I think that would be people like you, Jareen. You have family influence, initiative, as well
Yeah.
as say you had a greater purpose. Want to find out the things in the world, chemicals, and how to change the world and make the world a better place. I think that bucket of people would be like you. Now the
Okay.
second
Thank you.
bucket of people would be people like me, unfortunately, who does not really have a clear direction in life. So to be completely honest, once I finished my secondary school, I did not have a clear direction of what I want to do in life. So as a 17-year-old that time, how we're not really matured in our thinking and whatnot. One of the most easiest way out is just to go to Google, type what is the most lucrative career and what can make you most money. And the thing that popped up was one of the high on the list was petroleum engineering. So because of that, I chose engineering as my career. But how I ended up from petroleum to environment would be another story for itself. So that is how I ended up choosing engineering for my career, and I'll leave it at that.
Wow. Okay. Not bad. Two buckets of people. Yeah. Exactly. So did you Google as well, Wei, on why you want to do engineering, or your parents had something to do with it?
Well, for me, I think probably I fall into the third bucket of people.
Wow. Okay. There's one more bucket. Okay.
Yeah, actually, when I was 15, there was this, no, maybe not 15, back in the high school days, we have this subject called Kemahiran Hidup. I'm not sure if you guys still have that. So back then we have this project where we have to build something and then you put a battery in it and the buzzer goes da 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 da. And then at that point of time, I thought, wow, that is interesting. And it caught my interest in electronics. Ever since then, I went home and removed the battery of my alarm clock and I took it out. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to assemble it back, but I thought engineering is something cool, and probably because my uncle is an engineer, so it gives me some interest in engineering, and it's not a very girly stuff, which I like. And that's how I ended up in an engineering degree. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, Johnny, there's actually a third bucket that we were not aware of. But okay, someone who
Wow.
takes out batteries and ding ding, the light bulb for her. But it's really good. All of us have different experiences on why we ended up taking engineering. So, I'm currently a student, and during this pandemic, I think you all were aware, all I did was study online and do TikToks. So, what was your typical days in work like, before the pandemic and during the pandemic? How was your working lifestyle? In a way, maybe you can give us a few thoughts on that.
Okay. So I work as an NPI engineer in my company. And NPI engineer basically is we deal with new products. So typical workday for me before the pandemic would be to start off with having meetings in the production floor. Usually we discuss on issues happened in the previous days and how can we solve it. Because in production line, every second is money. If you lost 1 second, it means you're losing money. And then after the meetings, I will usually be dealing with preparations for new projects, because we have a few projects going on and each person has to take up several projects. So I'll be dealing with the preparation, documentations, or even the technical items that needs to be handled. And then sometimes when there's issue in the production, they would call like engineers, and then we would need to go in and solve it, because as I said, every second is money. So we have to prevent lost time in the production line. So that's what's my typical workday before the pandemic. And during the pandemic, since factories have to be closed, so basically I was just sitting at home doing nothing. But yeah, I prefer my work life before the pandemic. Yeah, back to you, Jerry.
Oh, okay. So didn't you download TikTok or anything? Or study any dance? We can do one later. Yeah, okay. But anyway, Johnny, what about you? You say that
So
you love to game. So were you gaming during this pandemic time or were you working?
I did both, yeah, Jareen. I did both. But to answer your, but also may I chip in also on
Yeah.
how my typical working day looks like. So before the pandemic, mostly what happens is I will be in the office. So we as an environment team, we're actually a support function in the company. So rather than we are operating the platforms, we will get sort of requests from all
Mhm.
the different assets in our company. Whether if they have issues, maybe they will have to flare more, or if they want to vent more in the operations, then they will come to the environment team for advice. Or if the projects team they have things to do with their carbon footprint, that kind of thing, they will also come to us for advice. So normally what I do in my current role, because I'm quite new to the company as well as to the environment team, so what I'm stuck with currently is to sort of, as Jeremy has mentioned, it will be to monitor the environmental performance of our assets, to analyze it and provide insights to the company. So my role especially is will be on the computer. So right after all the pandemic thing broke out, I was privileged enough to be able to take my computer, my laptop, and go home and work from my home. So I was able to deliver 100%. And right after of these few months, right now in the RMCO period, I can
Mhm.
finally say I am flexible enough to come back to my real home, my actual home in Cebu. I was based in Miri, and to work from home itself. So that was really good.
Wow, that's so nice. That's so cool. Yeah. And Wei is from Penang, you're from Cebu, and I'm from KL. So yeah, you see all of us from different places, and we ended up going to Miri to study. And I think that's the best part because we all get to come in this one hub. And yeah, just a reminder to people who are watching right now, you guys can actually leave a comment, like and share hashtag Curtin Malaysia. You can also pop in your questions. We can ask them. Some of them said, yes, thank you so much. One of them actually said that I look very nice. Yes, this is a lot of hard work to make sure that I look nice today. Yeah, but this is just for today only. But always, yeah, we always look nice. But anyway, guys, so moving on, you know, what is one thing that you would say you gained throughout your experience in Curtin that helped you in your daily life today, or maybe your working life? So maybe Johnny, you can share with us your thoughts on that.
Right. I guess the one most important thing I gained from Curtin, yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
would be things that I learned outside the classroom. Because a lot of time people will say, just focus on your studies, get all the knowledge, get first class honors, and you'll be set for life. I don't think that is the right mindset to have. I think it is important. The education bit, the knowledge you get from inside the classroom is important, but also the knowledge that you get from outside the classroom, things that you cannot open a textbook and learn, that is also very important. So for example, from my time as president of student council, I was given the sort of responsibility to resolve conflicts if, let's say, club they have conflicts, or to speak for on behalf of the Curtin students. That honed my communication and my facilitation skills as well. So I would say, because when you go out to the industry,
Mm-hmm.
when you have a problem, you can perhaps on technical problem, you can easily flip a book and find the answers to your specific problem. That knowledge can be quickly looked up or ask a person to for advice. But if, let's say, you have a problem related to soft skills, you cannot just open a book and then learn from it
Exactly.
immediately,
Yeah.
because that would not be possible, right, Jareen? I think
Yeah.
I think you agree to that as well. So I would say those soft skills were the best thing I have learned from my time at Curtin.
Yeah, yes. I would like to add on to what Johnny said. Yeah, I completely agree. Curtin is all about putting yourself out there. And like Wei said, seize all opportunity. So that's what I would say Johnny and I did. And I think Wei, you also did the same thing. And I feel like Curtin really taught us, besides the studying part, putting ourselves out there, taking each opportunity, because when you go out there, it's not all about what you studied in the books, but outside as well. You need to be aware of your environment. So, Wei, do you have anything to add on to this? You went to Vietnam to teach English. How was that? How was that overall for you? Yeah.
Yes, in fact, I agree 200% with Johnny and you. Because for me, myself as well, I think what helps me most in my career is what I gain outside the textbook, which is what I gain outside my course on all the activities that I joined. I still remember on the very first day when I joined my current company, and I had to find out the resistance of a resistor. And
Wow.
I took all the years to remember to memorize the colors of a resistor. And then my colleague told me, why don't you use a multimeter? So see, all these things are something that you may be good at the theory part, but then when you go to work, it's something else. So to me, I really appreciate the time I spend to build my soft skills. And as you said, for example, when I had an opportunity to do a student exchange in Vietnam, it was actually an exchange program via ISAC, right? It's another organization. But through that, I was able to go to Vietnam, stay there for 6 weeks it's a rural area. And
Wow,
basically the
okay.
students there didn't have opportunity to learn English. That is why we volunteered ourselves there. And through that, I was able to see a lot of things. Like we were so privileged that we are able to study, to go to university. But back there, in some countries, like students can't even afford to learn English. And that really widens my eyes, like really widens my knowledge. Yeah.
Wow, okay. That's so good. I feel like all of us have different opportunities, I would say, like Johnny had the chance to be a student council president, and you got to go out there and outreach literally. We all represented Curtin in different ways. Yeah, I just took a mic and just, went for all the events I could. Yeah, even though we are all engineering students, but I would say Curtin opened up so many opportunities for us to do other stuff and really build who we are as people today. And I would say, I think we all three are very different and unique in that sense. I feel like that's so good. That's so cool. And I just can't wait to graduate. Yeah, so I can go out there and be the best as well. Yeah, but I'm going to miss studying. So, anyway, guys, moving on, what are the current and emerging trends in the industry? So, we being in the manufacturing sector, is there anything that we should be preparing ourselves? What is upcoming in the future? Is the robots going to take over our lives?
Yes, in fact, in my current industry, because I work in a car audio manufacturing company, so previously a lot of processes are being done by the operators. It's human work. And right now, the trend is going into Industrial 4.0. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, but basically, it's to utilize robots or AI, the machines, to help us in doing our daily work. So, for example, if robots were to come out from the factory, they wouldn't know what do they have to do, right? So it's us who have to program the robots. So I would say right now, if like current students, if they have like the knowledge in programming skills, it would really be of great help in the future industry, because we are really moving into it right now. And if we are still stuck at manual job, then it would be like a setback for the company. So yeah, master your programming skills. That's really important right now.
So for now, we're still smarter than the robot. So that is good
Yes.
news, Wei. What about you, Johnny? I think there's so many petroleum students. You're working in Shell, and especially in their climate change initiative. So is there anything that we should be aware, the upcoming trends in the future?
Yeah, definitely, Jeremy, definitely. I'm more certain that our jobs will not be so fast taken by the robots. But for ours one, the main emerging thing would definitely be the carbon agenda, yeah, the climate ambition, which is to keep the degrees below 1.5 degrees Celsius. So right now, what is emerging is that we are moving towards the transition to cleaner energy, and I believe you have heard of these renewable energies a lot of times before already. Things like hydro, things like solar, things like wind, things like hydrogen. All this, we want to find ways on how to produce that energy sustainably, and to do it large scale enough so that it does not cause any harm as well to the environment. That's the first bit on the emerging thing. The second thing I would like to add on is basically on data, because currently my role as the data guy in the environment team, I can see that data is very powerful, as you can determine how your process is currently performing. Maybe your process is right now is there's a gap to it, and right after you know where is your process that is not functioning as good, you know your gap to potential, and you can move towards closing it. So I would say two things that are emerging. One is on the climate ambition, and another thing is on the power of data.
Wow. So one way talking about, robots, and you talking about climate change, I feel like both these are, upcoming trends. So people just be aware of that. Okay, moving on, guys, I want to know, what is one thing that you guys actually love being an engineer? Is there any perks being an engineer? Like Johnny, you work in Shell, so do you get like discounts working for Shell? And I think maybe that is my question to you, but maybe some people are curious. So maybe Johnny and Wei, I think Johnny first. I want to know whether
Right.
you get any discounts. That's what we want to
Right,
know.
right. I do get that questions a lot, Jared, and I can tell you, we do not get this kind of perks where we can go to the Shell station and get some discounts. That is something that is not happening right now, but I think that is something that we can work on. But I
Okay.
do get some exposure. If let's say I would like to go to the petrol pump station to help to work there for a few days, I could have that opportunity in the cards. But in terms of perks, I think that perks as an engineer, it depends from one company to another company, and what kind of roles and responsibilities that you have, and that would translate really well to what perks you might get. So what I love most about me working in Shell is you are in control of everything. You have that flexibility to manage your own time and the deliverables that you are being given. So let's say your manager gives you something that you have to complete by Friday. He or she would not care how you achieve it, whether or not it's on the first day or whether or not it's on the last day. Maybe you have a lot of tasks in the middle, and you have conflicting agendas. Your families have troubles, things like that. Then you yourself, you can prioritize what is important to you and manage it at your own pace. So long as you get things done, it's all good. And if you can't even manage to finish the task by Friday, then there is the option to talk to your manager and say, I can't do this. Let's find a way on how we can resolve this issue. So we are sort of a problem-solving company rather than, why can't you do this, that kind of thing. So I really love my time here, as they really value your integrity, your respect towards people, and your honesty. So I really like my time over there.
Wow, that's so nice. That's so cool. So it's like if you really can't do it, I feel like it's all about communication. That's the main
Yes,
thing. Yeah,
yes, that's
so
right.
that's really nice to hear. What about you, Wei? Does your boss listen to you if you're not able to solve a problem, or by hook or crook you need to finish it? How is it like?
I think for me as well, like we work in a team. So the team culture is quite strong in my company, where if you are not able to figure out something, then we can discuss and come up with a solution. But I would say like the perks of being an engineer for me myself would be to be creative in solving problems, to be creative in solving different problems, because different kind of problems have different kind of solution, and not one solution can fit for all problems. And the interesting part is every day we get different problems from the production floor. Some problems would be as simple as they couldn't power on the computer and they thought it's not working, but end up
Okay.
actually they forgot to on the switch, right?
Oh.
But sometimes the problem is really big, as in, for example, if they couldn't solve, and then they would call me, and I would try to figure it out. And that's the part where I enjoy the most, because it's not boring. It's something new that the problem have not happened, and it's something new that I can always think, and it's just not like deadly job. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So someone who likes to solve problems, and both of you are problem solvers, and I feel like that is such a great thing, in the industry. You always need to know how to communicate and solve problems, which I need to learn how to do soon, but it's okay, not so soon yet. But anyway, it's 2020, and we are leading towards equality, and that is what we are towards. So being in an industry, to be frank, in a class of engineering students, there's always limited amount of girls compared to guys. And going in the field, I think it is the same. So do you have any thoughts on that? What do you say about that?
In fact, when I was in Curtin, my class, like we had a class of 30 students and then only 3 of us were female. But I would say even in my current company, like engineers in the production team, there are only a couple of female engineers. But I think if you have the passion in doing something, then don't let your gender define what you should be doing. Because this is something that I enjoy doing. And it's not that ladies cannot be an engineer, right? If say your
Exactly, yeah.
family has, like, if your family doesn't have a female engineer, then be the first one to be a female engineer. And I think even right now, I even have friends, like guy friends, working as a nurse. So I don't see a problem, like, you know, which gender are defined to be in which field. So personally, I don't think there's a problem. And in fact, I love my job right now. Yeah.
Wow, well said, Wei. What about you, Johnny? Any thoughts on this? You know, anything to add on?
I think we answered that question really well already. But so we tackled that question from one angle. So let me tackle it from another angle, maybe from the
Yeah.
point of statistics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just give you some breakdown of the oil and gas industry in general. So maybe during my manager's time, so when you go to a platform, maybe out of 100 workers over there, you might only find 2 females that are over there. But right now, currently in our operations, we have managers at the operations who are females, and those were the ones
Wow.
that are making a change in the industry. So I'll just
Wow.
leave it at that.
Okay, that's great to hear. You know, I think, like Wei said, gender is no obstacle to whatever you want to do. It is just your, like she said, seize the opportunity. If you want to do it, go do it, you know, regardless of who you are, where you're from. You know, I think that is the main thing. And unfortunately, we are still answering and asking these questions when we are supposed to fix it by now. But it's really great that you guys have, you know, great perspectives on this. And going forward, hopefully, we get an equal life, you know, an equal role for everybody. That is the goal. And moving on, guys, what is one thing you guys appreciated the most in your time here in Curtin? Yeah, and Wei, being a transfer student, you can also bring in your Curtin Perth experience. What about you, Johnny? Besides being student council president, you know, anything else, highlights for you?
So I think I'll take that first, maybe. Sorry, if
Okay.
that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So just now I mentioned a thing or two about those soft skills thing. So I guess another thing that I really liked from Curtin is the connections that I have made, the networks that I was able to build, the friends I was able to make. So I had friends during that time either from Malaysia itself or international friends coming all the way from Kenya, from Pakistan. All those were really
Oh,
really good friends to
yeah,
me,
yeah, yeah. True, true.
right now I'm still keep following very closely on what they are doing. So that is something really good. And even connections or friendships that I've built with the lecturers over there. I do go out right now even to catch up with my lecturers to see how they're doing. Even the wife of one of my lecturer is now working in the same department, same team as I currently am. So you can imagine it, one day, you're
Wow,
listening
yeah,
to one guy talking, this guy is lecturer, and then after another thing, you're now working together with his wife. So that is something that I feel that was really good, the networking bit.
wow. Oh, okay. Well said, Johnny. Okay, that is a very interesting experience. What about you, Wade? Do you have something similar to that or something completely different?
Yes, it's actually similar to Johnny's, like 99 to 100%. I
Wow,
really
okay.
enjoy the connection that I made in Curtin because, like, for even in Miri or in Perth, like in Miri, I get the opportunity to meet people from East Malaysia because, like, I'm from Penang. I never met someone from Sabah or Sarawak, and also, of course, like people from Myanmar, from who else? Yep, Kenya. And when I was transferred, and when I was in Perth, I met someone from Perth itself and also Indonesia, where all those, like, it's another different culture, but I was able to connect to so many people, like, in different countries, and
Yeah.
some of them we even still keep in touch right now, which is something I'm really grateful of, because even if I were to stay in Penang, I would not know someone, like, people from so many different places. And I realized that network is very important in our life as well, and that is something that I really appreciate.
Yeah, oh my God, that's so cool. I would like to agree with both of you, I think Curtin being an international university, you get all walks of life. And my friends, my best friends being Indonesian and Sabahans and Sarawakians, it's so cool because I'm from KL and you don't really get this much exposure if you're here. And being in Curtin, I got that much more opportunity, like you both said, agreed. So guys, we have actually incoming questions from Facebook. So whoever is watching right now, yeah, okay, just remember to hashtag Curtin Malaysia, share and like. So right now we have a question. Okay, question for Johnny. Sandy asked you specifically. Do you know this Sandy, Johnny? I think no. Anyway, okay, you are an environmental engineer. Do you ever feel as though there is a conflict between safeguarding the environment and the aim of your company to produce fossil fuels? Okay, so your time starts now.
Sounds like a, the Shark Tank kind of thing that I'm
Yeah.
answering. But Sandra, thank you for that question. I think that is a very good question and it's a very valid question. I guess the sort of perception towards fossil fuel is, it's a very sort of, it causes a lot of pollution. But I feel like as an environmental engineer, so once I'm in the company, I would be able to advocate on behalf of the environment. So let's say my process team, my operation team, they decide that they want to excuse me, they want to produce more fossil fuels in light of the demand, and this will increase our tons of carbon dioxide that are being released to the environment. So I would be able to be in the position to advise them what would the consequences and implications be, and try to influence them to re-strategize and see if there are better ways of doing things. So I am in the right spot to be able to advise the company and to protect the environment. So I think I'm at a really good spot. So
Wow.
I think I will leave the answer to that question at that. But if you have more questions, please feel free and leave it in the comment box.
Oh my God. Well said, Johnny. Well said. Okay, next up we have another question. I think there's a few. Okay, Usama. He asked, what's your advice to those who can't decide which engineering major to choose? So maybe you can say, you can address this question first, then we both, Johnny and I, will address it later.
Okay. In Curtin, the engineering degree goes by first year being a common year. So for me myself, when I enrolled for electronics. Wait, I enrolled for electrical first actually, and then later on, after going into the first year, which is a common year, I figured that I prefer electronics. So I had the flexibility to choose electronics. So I would say if you know that engineering is something that you want to do, but you do not know which field to focus on, you can try to take on a common year, the first year first, because then you will be able to meet the lecturers, and also some friends would be able to give some advice, and then you would know which one would you like to focus on later. So actually, like first year, the units covered in the first year are more common. So you had the chance to get to know a little bit from each field as well.
Wow. Okay. Well said. What about you, Johnny? What is your take on this question? Who, when people can't decide which major to take?
I think go with your passion right out the first year and think as well. One thing, it will be on passion, and if let's say you don't have
Exactly.
the passion, then perhaps you can use the strategy I used previously, which is to think of your future career. What is the most the industry that is
Yeah.
in most demand, and what kind of engineer is in requirement of. So I think that would be my way of tackling if I do not know what kind of engineer that I want to be. I think this question, I think, Jareen, you have been the moderator for the day already. So I think I'll throw that question to you, Jareen. I think let's hear it from you.
Okay. Do you want my answer, guys? I would flip a coin. I will put two engineering and I'll flip it. And then whichever coin, with heads or tails, I will just follow the destiny of it. But to be honest with you, I was always very passionate about chemical engineering. So I think it was really a no-brainer there. Honestly, it was my parents as well as me. I fell in love on one of the shampoo bottles I was using, and I was so intrigued, like how Wei was telling, I really like good hair. So I was like so interested. Oh my God, how do they actually make this? So that was my main calling. But for people out there who do not know, like Wei said, your first year is a common year. So you will know out of the 8 or 9 subjects you're going to take, you will know what you're interested in, and you will eventually know. And if your passion is, go for it. Or my one, flip a coin. That's it. Easy as that. Okay, moving on. We have one more question. So okay. As an alumni, would it be easier to be employed in Australia or Malaysia? I am not employed at the moment. So, Johnny, what about you?
Yeah.
What is
Uh,
your take on this?
Perhaps from what I know, is based on the people that I know of, because most of us, Malaysians itself, it's easier to find work in Malaysia because you're a citizen of Malaysia. But I do have friends who have managed to secure jobs in Australia, and that's the beauty of Curtin because. A degree itself do not secure you any employment at all. It is the knowledge and
Exactly.
skills that you get, and I think Curtin provides those fundamental tools for you to pick up and learn. So long as you are able to pick up those skills and knowledge along the throughout your Curtin degree, take those opportunities like Wei and Jerry mentioned, I think that
Mhm.
will set you up. No matter will it be in Malaysia or in Australia, you would be able to find employment. I think I'll
Wow.
leave it at that, Jerry.
Okay, what about Wei? What do you say on this?
For me, I think it really depends on the economic situation and the period of time when you're looking for a job as well. Because I do have friends who got employed easily in Australia, but I also have friends who couldn't find a job in Australia and then come back to Malaysia after. But as a Malaysian, of course, to me, I would say it's easier to get employed in Malaysia because most countries would be focusing on their own people first, and
Exactly.
even the
Yep.
same as Australia. Yeah, so even Australia has the rule of having, like, if you're a PR, you'll be easier to get a job there, which
Exactly.
may be a bit hard for like Malaysians to get jobs, but of course it's possible, and it requires a lot of hard work and maybe some luck. But I would say as a Malaysian, it would still be easier to be employed in Malaysia. But for in Australia, then you may need to put on some hard work in looking for jobs. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That is well said. I think eventually for me, going out there, I think you need to sell yourself well. And I think that is the main thing. And you need to know the economic situation at that country you're applying. So I think it's both your answers combined is my answer. Okay, guys. Okay.
Hope you
So
find
this is
employment, Jerry.
soon. It's okay. I trust in the future, I will be flipping more coins in the future. But anyway, guys, so this is my last question to both of you. I also will give an answer. Describe your Curtin experience in one word. So I'll give you guys 30 seconds and just think about it. Okay. And yeah, okay. I'm thinking of a word right now also. Okay. Okay, I think I have my word. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wei, are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, because I asked first, so I'll say my word first. I would say awesome because I feel like everything I experienced here, good or bad, it was an awesome opportunity for me to learn who I am as a person and who I can be as a person in the future. So I think that is my word, awesome. So what about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I think I'll cheat the system a little bit if you allow me to do
Okay.
so.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
just
go
go with
ahead.
two words. Amazing. And then I'll finish up the word with exposure. I think the
Oh,
exposure that
okay.
I got from my experience in Curtin, it was really, really amazing. Things I pick up in the classroom, outside the classroom, the connections that I've built, the lessons I've learned, those were really, really amazing. And they have set me up for success in my life, in my career life. Hopefully in the future as well, yeah.
Wow, amazing. Okay, what about you, Wei? Come on, you can use three of our words and make it to one word. Just put a hyphen.
Yeah, I think I would call my Curtin days roller coaster. It was really
Okay.
a roller coaster journey for me. You know, there were ups and downs, and then at times when I had to deal with my final year project or assignments, and I also had to deal with my other activities. But all in all, it makes me who I am, and I'm really grateful for that roller coaster journey.
Wow, well said. So awesome, amazing exposure, roller coaster. So clearly, these are the words you need to hear if you're coming to Curtin Malaysia to do your engineering degree. These are not negative words, but positive indeed, because all of us had amazing experiences here. Regardless, good or bad, we learned so much, and we are the people who we are because of this university. And thank you so much, guys. So I'm going to bring up our hosts, Jane and Dean. So, guys, where are you guys at? Yeah, how was the session for you guys? I think it was very
Wow.
informative for me.
I think it was amazing. It was really interactive. I learned so much as well. I didn't know that we had taught English in where? Vietnam, you said? Was
Yeah,
that it?
exactly.
Yeah. While listening to them, right, all the students, and that reminds me on our student life last time. Right?
Right.
It's like, wow, those were the
Great
days.
times, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
Okay, so thank you so much, guys. But wait, we actually have a giveaway winner. Our first
Okay,
winner.
great.
Yeah. We told you, right? Okay, there's giveaway prizes, right? Okay, so you
Yes,
just
thank you.
Yeah.
And then,
share,
yeah,
then put up the
hashtag Malaysia.
Yeah.
So our first winner is Wilson Wu. Wilson Wu. You can wave for us, that'll be fantastic. And Curtin Malaysia will be in contact with you to give you your giveaway prize.
Yeah.
And we actually have a giveaway question, right? And you need to be fast with your fingers right now, right? So
Okay.
one lucky winner who answers correctly will be chosen later. And immediately, if you can just type out the answer onto our live Facebook chat. How many Curtin campuses do we have worldwide? And where are they located?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So only the first one who gave the right answer, okay, must be precise. Yeah, how many Curtin campuses that we have worldwide and where are they located? So I think everyone just, if you remember what we
Dean and
just
I were
mentioned
talking
just
about
now,
it in the
okay,
beginning.
or you can try to
Yeah,
Google
you
it very
can-
fast right now.
yeah.
So just
Good luck.
as soon as possible, we got
Fastest
somebody,
person.
okay, the fastest person who got the right answer
Right.
will be the winner.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That would be awesome. Wow.
Faster time.
I think I see some. All right, hurry up. Write out the answer. Okay, so before we let you guys go, okay, Johnny, Wei, Jared, tell me, how is your experience doing this live session with us? Maybe we start with Johnny. How's
Yeah.
your experience with this live session with us?
I think it was an amazing experience as well. This is the first time we're doing this, and this is that's certainly my first time doing it. I was some really great questions coming from Jareen, and some really great questions coming from the crowd as well. Especially enjoyed the one that asked me about that conflict of sort of interest, protecting environment versus production of fossil fuels. So I particularly like the questions, and I hope that the crowd will stay on and then have more questions for our next session as well. So thank you very much.
Thanks. Wei, what about you?
Yeah, it's really an interesting experience as I've not done this before, especially going live. And also I have to get used of speaking to my computer where I see no one in front of me. So it's really an interesting experience, which I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad to be part of it.
Right. Jared, what about you?
I think it was really fun. I always enjoyed talking, but now talking to myself is a new kind of normal, like Wei was saying. So it's really interesting to be in a room. I had to lock my room doors to make sure that I had no interference. So it was kind of fun, and to dress up for this was another kind of fun. So yeah, so it's always a new experience, and it's really fun. So I think we have to thank our panelists, Johnny and Wei. Really, thank you so much for taking your time out for this session. And I hope people who are listening learned a lot from you guys, because I surely did today.
Oh, fantastic. And you guys do know that the Borneo Post actually featured Curtin Malaysia. I sent this to you guys, right? So your faces are like popular in the Borneo Post online. Online and printed. Yeah, we have online and printed. We have Curtin Malaysia to thank for that.
So you guys are famous already right now.
Yes.
All the panelists, all the moderators.
All the panelists, you're famous. Okay, so thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're gonna go into our next session.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, Jean.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Dean.
Bye everyone.
Bye, guys.
So you guys just stay on. Okay, we'll have a short break.
With our commitment to learning for tomorrow, a Curtin University-wide strategy to transform the design and delivery of education, Curtin Malaysia has been progressively introducing a number of innovative learning technologies and learning spaces. One of the initiatives is using distributed learning programs in tandem with the Curtin's main campus in Australia. We have come out with distributed learning spaces, a flexible, collaborative learning classroom that has the capabilities of a collaborative learning space and class broadcasting simultaneously to another location. In other words, these are global classrooms. There are 2 distributed learning spaces available on our campus. One is an upgraded classroom with a capacity of 50 students completed in 2015 at the Premier 3 building, and another one accommodated in our new Faculty of Engineering and Science building in 2016, which can accommodate up to 100 students. Both rooms are well equipped with the latest technology in video and web conferencing. The room is also fitted with a recording system that enables the class sessions to be recorded for future references and archiving purposes. Students can also avail of these resources at their own convenience. At the moment, there are 5 units being taught through the facility, consisting of units in engineering and business undergraduate courses. There are already plans in place to have more classrooms with distributed learning facilities within the campus. All of our collaborative rooms located within the Faculty of Engineering and Science, as well as the Faculty of Business, can be easily upgraded to a distributed learning space. We believe that with the availability of this facility, it will enable students to have the unique Curtin experience and to be well prepared and equipped with the skills necessary for future working conditions that rely heavily on technology.
Wow, that was a fantastic session, right?
Yep, welcome back everyone.
Engineering session was great. And we also have a winner.
Yes,
right?
we have a winner just now. Those who, the question is, how many campuses Curtin have,
Right.
whole worldwide,
Right.
and where are they located? So
Right.
we do have a winner, right? The one who got it right
The
at
answer
the
is
fastest.
5. And the winner is Lee Jia Hong. Me and Lee, we were debating on this, how to pronounce your name.
I think
hope you got your name
right.
right, okay?
Yeah.
I was telling him,
It's
I'm
Lee
cheated,
Jia
okay? So
Hong.
much, I got it right, okay? Anyways, right, so Lee Jia Hong, Curtin will be in contact with you to give away your prize. And also, audience, if you have any questions related to Curtin courses and enrolling in the university, you can actually have a live chat with our course counselors by clicking on the live chat link on the comments section shared by Curtin below. Okay? So now we're moving into
the next session.
Right, which is my session as well, because I graduated finance and marketing. What did you graduate in?
Yeah, I graduated in accounting and finance, which is Bachelor's of Commerce, okay, business session myself.
And he actually has a prof, not a surname, because he brought his name, so he's like, he did more studies than me.
Okay, all right. So yes, please, okay, to all the audience, okay, if you want to win, the giveaway, just keep on commenting, okay, hashtag Curtin Malaysia. Okay, if you have any other questions, just post it on the comment section. And of course, at the same time, you just listen to whatever they are going to actually.
Right. So remember to share the video, comment, hashtag Curtin Malaysia, and then remember we have giveaways to give to you guys. Also, do you know that Curtin has students from over 50 countries?
Yes. There's a lot of this is one thing about Curtin. You see, a lot of people thought that okay, Curtin is only the Australian, and then if you think that okay, Curtin Mili, then there will be all Malaysian there. No, it's not. Okay, Curtin students are actually from over 50 countries. Okay, they are from everywhere. Okay, right. And you have like more than 50 student clubs to join. Okay,
campus life is so fun. Right?
Yes,
so
yes.
International, so dynamic, right? And you know that Curtin University is ranked the top 1%.
Yes.
Top 1% of universities worldwide in the academic ranking of the World Universities, ARWU 2019, right? So we are top 1%.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to our business session. It's very close to our heart because the two panelists is also part of our Curtin University alumni committee, right? But I'm gonna let our moderator share this with you. And our moderator is currently studying Master of Philosophy in Marketing. She's also a John Curtin Leadership Academy ambassador and a Secretary General of Model United Nations 2019. Right. And her name is Yo Hui Hui. Yes, Hui Hui, where are you?
Hi, I'm here. Hi, Jane. Hi, Dean. Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm going fine.
Was it good?
Yes, it's all good. Yeah.
Fantastic. Tell us more about John Curtin Leadership Academy Ambassador. What's that all about?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, John Curtin Leadership Academy is Curtin University's flagship core curricular leadership program. So we have to pass an interview and go through a series of leadership, critical thinking seminars, and work with a group of students to help a community. We have to identify a problem and also do fundraising to solve the issue that we have found out and eventually also pitch to the people, to the community. If they agree and they approve us to do it, then we will do it. So to be an ambassador, you don't need to just complete the project itself. You also have to also pass in your academic. So you have to make sure you balance off both co-curricular and also in academic. Yeah. So that's JCLA.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah. Wow. And tell us about what is this Model United Nations thingy?
Oh, so actually Model United Nations. Yes. So Model United Nations is actually like a mini version of what we see they do in United Nations. You know, like where we have all these United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and all this. So different countries, they actually all sit in together, and then they actually talk about the issue. Yeah, so Model United Nations normally is in high school or even in uni, colleges, so that students can actually discuss about all these world issues. And actually, each student, they actually represent as a country. So we don't just think from our own point of view, but we also think from the country's point of view. So why? Like, for example, in Russia, then why Putin would take away this? Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, you've done a lot.
I mean, like I've heard about the program on this Ahli Parliament earlier. You know, you become like a junior parliamentary members, okay, in the Parliament of Malaysia. But this is a different level. You know, like a part of UN. I think this you've done a lot of things before. So let's congratulations.
Yes. Well done
You get
you.
to really
So we're gonna
learn,
leave you.
Sorry?
Sorry, go ahead.
You,
You were saying you learned?
you actually get to really learn a lot about different countries and what they practice and why. Yeah.
Wow, that's an international experience, fantastic exposure. So we're just gonna leave you to do your thing, right? So we'll see you later.
All right. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Dean. All right. Hi, everybody. So I'm Hui Hui. I'm a student of Masters of Philosophy in Marketing. And today I'll be the moderator for the business session. So to introduce our first panelist, his name is Vignesh Babu. He's from KL, Kuala Lumpur, and he graduated from Curtin Perth with a business degree of Management and Human Resource Management. And guess what? He is an award-winning HR professional with solid leadership experience with top Fortune 500 multinational companies. He is now the Group Chief Human Resources Officer in Chemopharm Group of Companies. He also held multiple leadership roles with Deloitte, L'Oreal, and BAT Malaysia before joining Chemopharm. In his uni days, he was the executive committee member of Association of Malaysia. So let us welcome our first panelist, Vignesh.
Hey, Yuhei, how are you?
Hi Vignesh, how are you?
I'm
fine.
good, I'm good. Great to be here.
Yeah, so actually I'm very curious when I read through all your biography. I wanted to know, how do you feel actually to be able to lead people in big companies? How do you actually feel?
Well, I would say I'm blessed, right? I mean, how many of us will actually get this opportunity to work for top global brands, right? So I think to a certain extent, I'm quite blessed. Of course, there's a lot of exposure globally. The good thing is I get to travel a lot. So no complaints. Really has been an exciting journey for all of us.
Wow, great. The opportunity to travel a lot. Yeah, I would like that. One of my dreams is also to travel a lot. And if you travel for work, I assume probably your flight tickets and accommodation are actually covered, right?
Taken care.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Okay, so now to introduce our second panelist. So our second panelist is Vinod Menon. He is also from KL, Kuala Lumpur, who graduated from Curtin Malaysia in 2015 with a business degree in public relations and marketing. Since then, he has gone on to establish 4 companies in the fields of events, healthcare, beauty, and food and beverage respectively. In his uni days, he established few clubs and founded the Borneo Youth Leadership Conference, which actually earned him the Anak Sarawak Medallion in 2016 by the Sarawak Convention Bureau. So let us welcome Vinod. Hi, Vinod. Hi. Do you still remember me, Vinod? Yeah, Vinod. I think you have to unmute yourself. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so Vinod, yeah. So I hope you still remember me, and I'm actually really glad to be a part of the Borneo Youth Leadership Conference. Going through the interview was scary because with all the committees in front there, I think you still remember. Okay, but yeah, I was actually really grateful and I really enjoyed the entire session. Okay, so probably now we will start with our forum. Okay, so we'll start from our first questions. No worries, it's not going to be like any exam. Okay, so I would like to know, what is a typical working day or week like for you? Do you actually pre-plan your daily schedule, or like how does your daily goes? How does your daily procedure goes? So maybe Vignesh, would you mind to start first?
Sure. Hey, that's a That's a very good question, right? I mean, because in corporate world, we always say we live in, live out of calendar and emails. I think for me, well, apart from emails and also, of course, management meetings, most of the time I like to start my day by catching up with my HR team. I think that's very important for me as a leader to really to see how they're keeping and also coping with work, right? Because out of the busy schedules, sometimes we tend to miss out, to check on our team. Apart from that, I'll go around the office to greet the rest of our employees, to also see how they are doing, right? For me, I have my personal goal where I like to put a smile on at least 3 people in a day, right? If I can achieve that, I think that will surely brighten up my rest of my days. So if you ask me, that is my so-called vitamin for the day to keep myself going as a leader.
Wow. I like how you actually have goals to put a smile on 3% a day. And that is like your supplements, right? And
Exactly.
happiness is free, and making people happy actually makes them, I believe, more effective too, right?
Yeah, people say working is stress, right? So let's help people to put off the stress.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay. So what about actually, do you pre-plan your daily schedule, or like for meetings and all those for you, Vignesh? Do you put in meetings and all those? Was it like weekly planned or is it daily planned?
It's depends on the meeting, right? I mean, usually it's weekly. We also have ad hoc meetings, so that happens as regular as possible.
Okay.
It's a mix of both, yeah.
Okay. How about for you, Vinod? Oh yes, but you're quite your volume is quite low.
Quite low. Oh, I have no idea, but you still can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's quite low. Yeah.
Sorry, your question again. There was a bit of a tech problem. Sorry, tell me your question.
Okay. So what is like a typical day, working day for you? Like, do you actually pre-plan your schedule, or like how does it go?
My days are long. They're fun. So yeah, I pre-plan everything as much as I can. But obviously, every day there are a lot of operational issues, a lot of challenges along the way. But it's fun for me. So I usually plan my day the night before, and then I try to stick with it. But usually there are always things happening. So it's like I said, my days are long, and I enjoy it. And yeah, I tap dance to work every day. That's what I do.
Wow. Okay. That's great. So actually, for Vinod, I was quite curious, But since uni life, you have been founding clubs and also even for the conference BYLC. So what actually make you choose to establish companies? Does it actually related to how you actually have the initiative to found all these clubs?
Well, I think when I was in Curtin, I founded a lot of clubs because a few clubs, like for example, like Toastmasters was because I was approached to do so. And I am a Toastmaster as well. And I think communication skills is very important. I think Toastmasters is a perfect way to build it. In terms of the conference, it was a very simple reason. I came for a conference, thanks to Curtin as well. They sent me for a conference called the Global Youth Conference in Taylor's. And I was sitting there and I was listening to this speaker called Vishen Lakiani, who's the CEO of Mind Valley. And I mean, this guy is one of the best speakers I've ever heard, honestly, and I was so inspired by what he said and the things he was saying. And then I thought to myself, I was like, wait a minute, but there's no such conference in Sarawak. There's no such conference in Miri for the youth. So why not just do it and, invite people in? And because I always like the whole process of learning from people who are successful, people who are established. I think it's very important in a student's life to learn from these people because there's a lot of techniques and lessons you can learn and apply later on. So that was the inspiration behind that, why I started the conference. It's quite simple. In terms of companies, it's just because my love for business. I love business. And for that, I have to blame my mother. She's the one who, from the time I was young, always came back home from work after work, a day's work in the bank and used to talk about business people and all those kind of things. And I think from a young age, she, whether knowingly or unknowingly, planted the seed. And so when I told her, look, I'm leaving my job to start my first company, I said, it's all your fault. So here we go.
I hope your mom is happy that you blame her for that. That she has a son who's an entrepreneur, right?
Let me just call her in now.
All right. So what about you, Vignesh? What actually made you choose your particular career path in HR?
Well, I think that's a long story, right? But in the interest of time, I'll keep it short. Just like any other young kid, I remember after SPM, I wasn't too sure which degree or career option I should pursue, right? Maybe this part, maybe Vinod would agree with me as well. Coming from a very conservative Indian family, the options were quite limited, right, to a certain extent. The options were given to me by my parents were like the usual medicine, engineering, and IT, right? But then I always wanted to be a lawyer, but for some reason it was a no, right? So the reason was, I was very reserved and timid. My personality was not the right one for the career of choice, right, for law. So that's when my parents really brought me to meet this career advisor from Study Excel, Mr. Tony Tan, right, who's based in Subang Jaya. Very reliable. Right? Sorry?
Is that the one? Yeah, I know that place.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Study Excel, right? That's like the landmark for the Subang area. So very reliable education advisor. So that's when he got me to do a personality test, just to find out what is the most suitable job for me, right? So the result seems to be something related to people. For obvious reasons, medicine and law was on the list as well. But I decided to pursue management and human resources management with Curtin University of Technology, Australia, right? Nice. But really not by luck, by choice, simply because Curtin had many courses and that are professionally recognized by relevant industries. And I think most importantly is about the good reputation Curtin has with the employers, right? I think we all are very lucky to have Curtin now in Malaysia. Those days, we have to spend a bomb to travel, right? So that's most of you are very lucky now you have Curtin in Malaysia. So yeah, that's my story into Curtin.
Yeah, I believe lawyers, doctors, it doesn't just happens in Indian family. I believe Chinese parents will want their children to be either doctors, lawyers, So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very happy that you get to study what you wanted and eventually get into an industry that's involve human resource to people. So what is that one thing that you love most in your job that actually motivates you to go to work every day? So Vignesh, is it people that motivates you to go to work every day or what?
Spot on. Now I know why they made you the moderator. You got it right. Yes, dealing with people. Right. So for me, being in HR, right, I think it's a very noble job. People say doctors, lawyers are all very noble job, but I think HR is also a very noble job, right? I think we in HR, we help people to be their best in whatever they do, right? It's not just about us, it's about others. And also as HR professional, I think we have a very critical responsibility to manage the most important asset of the company, which is again people, right? And we as HR, we become the business enablers. And in today's world, I think that's very important, right? You need to be a business partner as far as the business is concerned. Right? Gone are the days where HR is seen as the supporting division or supporting function, right? So now we need to work hand in hand with the business to achieve the common goal.
Nice.
Nice. So what about you, Vinod? What actually make you love making business so much? What motivates you to establish business companies?
Like I said, I've always had a very deep-rooted love for business and commerce and all that. But one of the things I think that motivates me in my line of work is that I'm a very goal-centric person, meaning I set goals where I want to go and what I want to achieve in time periods. And then I find the process of working towards that goal very, very exciting. In fact, just today I had a very nice meeting and we're growing and we're expanding and all those kind of things. So those kind of things really get me very excited, very happy. I feel like I'm top of the world. just planning and growing and working towards a goal is something that I really, really love, and it keeps me occupied, and I just love it. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's just like what people usually say: grab all the opportunities, all the chances that you can get. Right? Do you agree with that, Vinod?
No, not really. I used to be like that when I first started, to be honest, and that was my first lesson in business. Is that that's a very Western philosophy, I would say, whereby it's always about grabbing every opportunity that is in front of you. But you have to ask yourself first, what opportunity is in sync with your goal? If it's not in sync with your goal, it's going to take you away from your goal. Then it's going to be detrimental rather than opportunistic. So you got to decide what you want to choose and what is suitable for you, and you have to say no to certain things that may just prove to be a distraction. Yeah, that's an Eastern philosophy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Coming to think of it, it's kind of true. When that you don't just go and grab all of the opportunities, but instead you be selective. There is opportunities, but make sure they are not distractions. They are true opportunities that goes along with your goals.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you were to do, if you were to look at some of the most successful people in this world, they often say no. If you talk about, like, if I used to watch interviews when I first started in business, I used to watch interviews of people like Warren Buffett, who used to say that he doesn't work with people who makes his stomach churn. So if he can say no to people, then and he's where he is today. I think all of us need to follow that example and to say no when we need to and say yes when it's right for us. Yeah.
Yes, true. I agree.
Yeah.
So Vignesh, a quick question for you. So in your time in Curtin Business School, right? So what is the most beneficial thing that you have learned or experienced that actually helps in your current career?
Right. So obviously there's a lot of things that I can share, but just to summarize them, I would say that these three top things really helped me a lot, right? Because as I mentioned earlier, I was a very reserved, very quiet guy. I don't like to mix around, but my life totally changed when I went to Curtin, right? Like I mentioned, the three things I would say is really about the international exposure I had, right? Because Curtin, had international students from multiple countries, and I was enjoying their Vietnamese food, Bangladeshi food, and you name it, right? So there's just so many options as far as food, people, and personally, I think it has helped me to really broaden my thinking capacity, right? And also widen my network of friends. Like people say, it's not about what you have, it's about who you know, right? So the good thing is, even after 20 years or 15 years, I still keep in touch with them. So that's good. The second piece is really about my leadership qualities, right? Apart from studies, I was also actively involved in curriculum activities. As you mentioned, I was with the Malaysian Association of Malaysian Students Association, and also the Curtin Student Guild, right? So where apart from the stressful studying and all these activities, I was able to organize events, mentor my juniors, because there were students who were coming to Perth and they were feeling out of place, and this is where you go and share your experiences, help them with some of the challenges that they might have being new to a new city. So those are some of the things, and the next piece is really about the lecturers themselves. One thing I really liked about the Curtin lecturers were they are from the industry, right? So they don't just share what I call examples from the textbook, but also from their own real experience, right? So from all these benefits I had in Curtin, it has certainly laid the right foundation for me as far as the transition from university life to corporate world, right? Where I was fortunate enough to work for top Fortune 500 companies, right? I mean, it's not an easy feat, but that really helped me to lay the foundation and really work with people from different countries, right? So I have to thank Curtin for this, right? For the exposure I had back in Curtin.
Yeah, thank you, Curtin, for giving me this opportunity too. Okay. All right. So what about you, Vinod? Okay, what is that one thing that you have learned or experienced in Curtin that actually helps you in your current career?
I think my answer is going to be quite similar to Vignesh as well. It has to be the whole uni life. In fact, I had a choice between going to another university in KL. I won't say the name. It starts with a T, ends with an S. So I'll let you all decide. Or Curtin Sarawak. And I chose Curtin Sarawak because I wanted that whole uni life. I wanted the student life. And I wanted to get out of KL and really seclude myself and, sort of build yourself there. And so living in a multiracial, multicultural environment, dealing with a lot of different things, issues. I was very active as a student in terms of events, and I was myself in the student council as well. So there's a lot of things that I did. I think that is one thing that benefited me the most. Even when I graduated, my first job interview, I got my first job 2 weeks after I left uni. So which was a very great thing. It was surprising to me. But I won't forget, one of the things that they liked about my CV were not my grades, because let me tell you, my grades weren't good by a stretch. Okay, but what they liked very much was the fact that I had a lot of experience I had a lot of event management experience. I had a lot of speaking experience. Those kind of things are the soft skills I think that are going to really help you succeed in the working world. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a 9-to-5 guy, it doesn't matter. If you're in the working marketplace, you have to have soft skills. You're going to lose out if you don't. So that is one thing. The uni life in Curtin really helped me a lot. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, true. So I believe instead of either just choosing one, either academic or co-curricular activities, I think we have to balance both.
Correct. And
That's
especially
best.
now, especially now, because things are getting more and more competitive. Pre-COVID, the world was a globalized. I mean, there were no borders. The workforce is getting more and more filled with different races, with different nationals. So it's getting more and more competitive. And if you don't have the soft skills to compete, you don't have the communication skills to compete, you're going to find it very tough. So I think you're right. You got to have a balance, but you must have a good student life and good grades as well.
Yeah, true. We need to. I'm actually quite grateful that I enjoyed my uni life. At the same time, also involved in co-curricular activities, especially in BYLC. I won't forget that. Don't worry, do not.
Oh, thank you. That's so
Okay. Okay. So, for next question, actually, this question that I'm going to ask, I believe the viewers might be quite interested in. So, in your opinion, so let's start with Vignesh. Okay. So, in your opinion, what are the current and emerging trends in HR?
In HR, right. So I'd like to give a very general answer, right? I mean, because it's not just about HR, it's also about the other functions as well. So I would say digital transformation, right? Why do I say digital transformation? Because, it has become more and more critical. Looking at the COVID situation and stuff, I think it's just so important for us to be more IT savvy, right? Leverage from our technology. If I were to give you a simple examples, those days companies would talk about their products, but now it's all about outcome and solutions for your customers, right? So it's not just about products.
Exactly.
Number two would be before people will be telling you about machines. We will tell machines what to do, but now machines are telling us what to do, right? With the intervention of artificial intelligence, AI, basically the power of predictive data, right? So machines have replaced most of the things that we do. And the last one would be, we used to talk a lot about, if you would attend an interview, they would say, what are your 3 years plan, right? But now it's all about what is your continuous journey plan, right? What is your continuous improvement that you plan to do? So these are some of the changes that dictates the way we work and also with the way we live, right? It is important, I think, really for students to know what's really happening around them rather than just relying on textbook or their mobile, right? I think it's very important to know what's happening beyond yourself. So yeah, I think that would be my perspective in terms of current trends.
Yeah, in the previous session was engineering session. The moderator did ask the panelists if anytime soon or maybe in the future will the AI or robots will be taking over what we are doing now, our jobs? What do you think? Dinesh, since you're talking about IT.
Yeah, my answer is absolutely no, right? Because at the end of the day, even to program the robots or whatever, you still need human, right? And the human touch, human element can never be replaced, right? No matter what technology comes on board, the human touch is always is the most important element of it.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So audiences, remember to like and share and also comment down there, #Curtin Malaysia. And if you have any questions, don't forget to leave it at the comment box, okay? So moving on to Binod. How about for you? What do you think is the current and emerging trends that in business?
I think I'm going to answer based on Curtin because we're talking about students and studies and being competitive in the marketplace. I would say that the not emerging trend, but the current trend that students need to be wary about and to know about is that, like I said before, the marketplace is getting more and more competitive. You are seeing a multinational workplace whereby people from every part of the country are in Malaysia now, owning companies, running companies at every level of in a company they are there. So I would think that students really need to focus more on just their academics. They need to focus on themselves, their soft skills. We're not saying that. I'm not saying about uni life itself, but there must be a constant move to learn and to evolve to suit the current times. For me personally, what I do is I try to read as much as I can. I try to study as much as other things. For example, like what Vignesh was talking about, digital transformation. It's upon us. It's happening. Things like predictive analytics and all that is something that I have spent days, months learning and trying to include that to my company. And these are all none part of my fields. These are separate fields. But you have to learn a lot of things, I think, to keep up with that trend. It's not really a trend. It was a trend when I was in school. Now it's a reality. And I think students really, really need to realize that your degree is important, but your learning journey does not end after you get your degree. It goes on. So you really have to be open to learning, open to asking questions, you need to be curious to really cope in this world. So that's what I would say what students need to be wary about.
Yeah, true. It's just like never stop learning. Just keep on learning and learning. Never stop.
Yeah, I think the day you stop learning that's the day you're over. It's done for you. So.
Yeah. True. Okay. So actually, as we know in Curtin, there is actually a lot of major offered for marketing, accounting, finance, and management, right? So what is your advice to students who are indecisive, who still don't know what major to pursue? Do you have any tips, Vignesh? Do you have any tips for our future students?
Yeah, so I get this question very often, right? Whenever I do talks at the universities and events. So I think the key word here is really about passion, right? To find out what is your passion is all about. I know it's not an easy feat because people struggle to really find out. I mean, I blame myself as well. I struggled at the beginning but what really helps you in this situation is it's good to have a right support system. Right. So when I say support system, at that tender age would be your parents, right? If I can say who else know you better than your parents, right? No one else will know, right? Your parents will be your best support system at that stage. Second is, like I mentioned earlier, it's good to have to get professional advice from education advisors. I mean, we tend to ask a lot of people, cousins, friends, this person, that person, and then they make situation even worse for you, right? So it's always good to speak to the right people, right? And the next one would be identify what is your career goal like. I mean, basically your destination, right? So if you want to go from here to Singapore, you have multiple options, right? You can drive, you can fly down, you can use the train or whatever. The same thing as your career goals, right? Identify them and then work backwards, right? Choose the right route in order to reach your goal. I mean, that's my simple advice to students.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Especially thinking, identifying your goals and work backwards. There's
Yeah.
actually a term saying begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's a part of the 7 highly effective. Yeah. It's one of them. Begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about for you, Vinod? What advice?
I think I'm going to take a very different view on this. For me, I would say that to anyone who is okay, there are two kinds of people. There's one type who knows what they want to do. I mean, I used to date this girl who knew she wanted to be a doctor from a kid, right? That's good. That's not that. Those people are fine. But the others, I would say that, you know what, life is long. Life is long, right? You don't have to know right away what you're going to do when you go, pick a course, do it, excel in it, and come out. I'll give you one good example. Tansi Tony Fernandez he graduated as an accountant. Now he owns a group of companies, right? So there are people I know who got degrees in, say, I don't know, like in business, for example. In me, I was in PR and marketing. Now I run my own companies. So I don't think you need to put so much pressure on it. Just appreciate the process. Look at it like this, right? Like what we spoke about earlier. The whole learning journey never stops. It keeps on going. So pick something that is close to what you like, do it, and then we'll see how it goes. I mean, I like the same thing you were quoting. I think Steve Jobs said that you can only connect the dot looking backwards, not forwards.
Yes.
Yes, so that's what I would say. I said, don't put so much pressure on, I need to pick something that's to my goal. I feel like that takes the fun out of everything. I don't know.
I think in business, most of the things are actually interrelated somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah. When you become an entrepreneur, actually it involves all marketing, management,
everything.
accounting, everything. Yeah.
And I remember when I used to meet some of my mentors in business, we'll sit down over coffee, be talking, and they'll be sharing about theirs. Most of the meetings, not every, I would say, but most of the meetings, they always share with me books to read. Okay, read about marketing. Okay, go learn accounting. So it's my PR marketing degree it started there, but I think I've been learning a lot more outside of that after that. Yeah. So it depends on, I guess. Yeah, it's just a journey.
Yeah. As long, I believe you have to enjoy your journey.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Enjoy the journey. Yeah.
I believe both of you enjoyed your uni life very much, and that is why actually somehow leads to your quite successful alumni life, enjoying your business, enjoying your career, and all those, right? Yeah. So audiences, remember there is a giveaway t-shirt. So please remember to like and share the video and comment #Curtin Malaysia at the comment box down there, okay? So coming down to our forum's last question. What is that one word, okay? A question for Sherlyn Lee Ching, okay? Her question is for Mr. Vignesh. Okay. Why wouldn't you stay in Australia after your graduation? Why would you choose to come back to Malaysia in terms of job opportunities and the working environment?
Because Malaysia is better. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so I think that's more to a personal reason, right? Obviously, I had job offers back in, my very first interview was organized by the Curtin Career Services. So I'm obviously thankful for that. So through that, I've got, number of opportunities back in Perth. But for family reasons, I had to come back because my dad wasn't too well, right? So as the eldest in the family, I had to come back and look at opportunities back home, right? And also another reason would be, my sister was going to pursue her education, right? So it's just the two of us back home. So I think there's a need for me to be there for my parents. So which is why I chose to come back. And there's no regrets because I think if everybody to leave Malaysia, who's going to be working in Malaysia, right? It's our country. We need to be there to do our national service.
Yeah. So do you actually plan or actually wanted to stay in Australia a little bit longer, or like coming back was actually your initial plan after all?
Well, I visit because my sister is there, so I get I get to travel every now and then, so there's no issue, right? But no matter what, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, after traveling to many countries, I still think Malaysia is the best. I have no complaints in terms of being here.
Well
Yeah,
done.
we are close to home, right?
Yeah.
Whenever when you're in Malaysia.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, right? I mean, we complain every day in, day out, but there are more difficult situations out there than in Malaysia.
Yeah,
So
true.
Malaysia is still the best.
Okay. So actually, one quick question is, how do you actually would want to use one word to describe your experience in Curtin? With just one word. Yeah, I'll give you about 10 seconds. One word.
I think I would say awesome. Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. It was fantastic, man. Fantastic. I try very hard. After I left Curtin, I mean, I have so many fond memories. It's. I mean, it was the best. It was the best. I have so many friends, so many nice memories. I tried to. Yeah, but it was nice. Awesome. Yeah, definitely.
How about you, Vignesh?
For me, I think it's fun. I had one of the most memorable, most exciting times in my whole life back in Perth, right? Because of my friends, because of my lecturers, because of the people that I used to hang out with. So it was really a life, like I mentioned earlier, right? It was a life-changing moment for me, right? I learned a lot. It made me a better person, which is more important. I'm glad that when I came back to Malaysia, I was very proud of myself compared to when I first went to Perth, right? Like I said, I was very reserved, very timid, very scared to speak to people. But now, I never stop talking. So it's all thanks to Curtin.
Thanks to Curtin. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Makes us
actually,
talk.
yeah. But yeah, it's true that somehow, although a lot of people would say that in uni it would be very stressful, with all those things, assignments coming up. I think most of my uni life is actually having a lot of fun, and it was really awesome. Yeah, looking back, my undergrad, I actually did enjoy myself a lot, get a lot of friends,
Yeah.
and those people who are actually good influences, and meet people like you, Vinod. I'm sorry, Vignesh, I don't get to meet you in Curtin. I'm sorry.
If I can just add to what you said, right? I mean, you see, back when we were back in university days, we used to say, I can't wait to get into corporate, the working life, and this and that. But now that you're in in the working world, you would say, hey, you know what? Uni days,
I want to go back.
Right? I want to go back. Right?
Yeah.
So, advice to everyone, all the students, enjoy your life, man. You're not going to regret this.
Because you want to go back to it after your first day of your work.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So now we'll move on to the next question from our Facebook friend. Okay. Let's see. Now it's from Sean. Okay. Should students look at the quality of the course that the university offers, or should they look at the overall ranking of the university when they want to apply? So, Vignesh or Vinod, maybe Vinod, would you like to take this?
I think this question is dependent on what area you're entering. I would say, of course, if you're looking at medicine, engineering, very high skilled jobs, I would think that the ranking of the university as well as the course quality matters. But in business per se, I don't see that it matters much, because I have interviewed a lot of people for my companies. I've interviewed even master students, degree students, graduates, and the difference is more to the person. Of course, I do keep an eye on the grades and the achievement in the academics, obviously, but I look more at the soft skills part of the person. If the person is able to, if the person is able to has a quality such as hardworking, time management, people skills, these are the kind of things that I look at. So I think in business-wise, I don't think it matters. But Sean, I would suggest you to go to Curtin because it's amazing. Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's true. Approved by me. one of the current students. So yeah.
And sorry,
So
I
what
just want to
about
add one thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, just one more thing.
Okay.
I think like in business side of things, I would say to students who want to apply to universities, don't focus so much on the university side of things. I don't think that's, I've interviewed people who have master's degrees, and some of them have not been as impressive as their uni. Focus on developing soft skills in yourself. As long as you have a degree from uni that has the proper accreditation and everything, it's fine. I think that's fine. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Just wanted to add
No
that.
worries. So what's from your point of view, Vignesh? Vignesh, yeah.
I definitely agree with Vinod as well, right? I mean, at least from the HR standpoint, whenever we hire fresh graduates, we obviously look at, as a reference, right? Not really a prerequisite, but at least it's a reference. We look at in terms of the university rankings, number one. Number two is, as far as the students are concerned, I think at this stage, you wouldn't know the quality of the course until and when you experience it yourself, right? So, apart from what Vinod has shared, I probably would add on to this, right? I think don't just look at, number one, you need to look at the reputation of the university, right? Identify the suitable university for yourself. Second is just don't look at what the university has to offer, but look at the opportunities of learning that you probably would have, right? So I think rather than looking at what the university has to offer for you, you need to see how much you can learn from the courses or the exposure that you probably have from the university. So I think that's what you need to really focus on, right? Because, even if you were to join, a very top 3 universities and you just sit in your room and you don't want to learn anything, you spend time with your textbook and you don't meet anyone, it's not going to help you in any ways, right? A simple example, right? So, just go out there. A degree is a degree. Of course, you need to qualify from a reputable university. But again, just learn as much as possible and expose yourself and be active, right? Be active. I think you would know most of us here, we were all very active in our uni days, right? So that's where you learn a lot, right? So yeah, that's my perspective.
Okay. So all of you here, do you hear that? It's from the Chief HR Officer, okay? So you have heard what he has mentioned, yeah? Don't stay in your room, although you're in the top 3 uni, okay? Make sure you go out, enjoy, and also learn at the same time.
Yes. Have a good
Okay?
time.
So moving on to our next question from another friend from Facebook. So he is from Jarin. Okay. What was the turning point in Curtin for all of you to achieve your present goals at this time? Any special incident? The turning point.
Wow. I don't know. I guess I'll go first on this. I don't think there was a turning point per se. I think for me everything started the moment I went to Curtin. When I went to Curtin, when I got in the first day, I remember during my whole orientation week, I had a goal that I was going to make my stay at Curtin be awesome. I wanted it to be awesome. I wanted to do a lot of things and all that, and I set out to do that way. But like I said before, I think a few things really impacted me to be able to achieve my goals. Now, one of it in terms of academics, is that when I was taking marketing and PR, what I loved about my course was that during my assignments, I remember I loved reading journals. I loved reading journals. I love learning new things. Some things I still use till today. Now, I love that part. I'm not so big on the textbooks, but the journals I really liked because they were new and they were, the research part of it was nice. In terms of student life, it was working with people, organizing events, getting into a lot of lovely programs like, JCLA is one of them. For a while, I was in MUN as well. All these programs really, they make you feel a sense of accomplishment because, wow, I was part of something and now I've made this thing happen together with the team. That feeling really is very addictive and something that's really helped me even till today. I love that teamwork. I love creating things and working towards things. So I don't think it was a thing, but I think it's the whole experience. Yeah.
Okay, great, nice. Wow. Yeah, I really enjoy listening to from all what you have actually mentioned. So what about you, Vignesh? So what was your turning point?
I think for me it's the same, right? I would not say a turning point, but for me it's the overall journey, or rather, the life I had back in Perth. So for me, if you ask me, what I really leveraged on at that point of time is about networking, right? As we speak, even if I were to say who was the first politician that I met in my life, apart from Tun Mahathir, was the current Prime Minister, who is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, right? So when he visited Perth, I was honored enough to meet him, right? So again, that speaks about the power of networking, right? It's important. I took every opportunity, whenever the university or the student association, they organize events, I just go out and meet people, right? And believe me, that has really helped me even until today, right? I still keep contacts with them. If I need anything, I just give them a call, just because we have known them from back in uni days, right? And this is just not limited to Malaysians. I've got friends even back in Australia, they graduated and they went back to their home countries. I still keep in touch with them. So whenever I visit their countries or whenever I need something from their country, it's just a call away, right? So if I didn't do that, I don't think I would have such an extensive network of friends, right? So I think that is something which I really appreciate until today, which is networking. So my advice to all of you is always network. Even if you need to pay to be there and go for it.
Yeah. Okay. It's so great to hear all the things that you've shared, Vinod and Vignesh shared today. So I actually personally have learned so much and also got some tips which previously I think I'm more of especially the taking all the opportunities, and now I think I have to start being more selective instead of taking all of them, all the opportunities that I see. Okay, so maybe now we'll bring back Jane and Dean up back here.
Hi.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
Great
Hey, guys.
session you had. So informative.
Yeah, we were
Thank
listening.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Vinod, Vignesh, really amazing.
Thanks for having us.
I think the FB comments were also very interesting. Very smart questions.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of comments going on right now on Facebook. Besides the hashtag Curtin Malaysia, there's a lot more questions on the Facebook right now. So
Yes.
yeah.
And we would like to announce the
Oh
winner.
yes.
Right, we have a winner for
the
our
next
giveaway.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Just before you guys announce, right? I just have this question for Jane and Professor Dean. Is this your day job or something?
What?
You guys are doing it so well. No, I was just asking, is this your day job? You guys are doing it so well.
Curtin, can you pay us? No, it's not our day job. Yeah, but I think it's fun, right? This is what we do in alumni. You get all these experiences, go for all these events, and then if let's say this works, right? Maybe we can do the going places with Curtin Degree more on a regular basis.
Yes.
Then you guys can host too, right? Then you'll be like a.
Lovely, that'd be nice.
No, we can't be a better moderator or host like Hui Hui. She did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Fantastic job. Right. Let me announce the winner first, and then I have questions for you guys. So stay tuned. Smile at the camera.
So the winner for the second session is Helen Lim.
Yes.
Okay.
Helen
Congratulations,
Helen Lim. So Curtin will be in touch with you for that. And we also have one of those key in and then type your answers out right now kind of giveaway, right? One lucky winner who answers this correctly will be chosen, right?
Okay.
So how many years has Curtin Malaysia been operating in Malaysia?
Yeah.
Right.
So that is the question. Okay. Please type in the answer, the right answer. The fastest, the one who got it correct, will win the giveaway prize. So
Right.
how many years has Curtin Malaysia been operating in Malaysia?
Yes.
So type it out.
What's the answer? What's the answer?
Get it right. Okay.
Okay. And also for you audience, if let's say you have any questions related to Curtin courses or enrolling to the university, you can live chat our course counselors by clicking on the live chat link and the comment section shared by Curtin.
There's a link down there at the comment section. So just scroll through and there's a Curtin counselors, right? Okay.
Yes.
The counselors are actually online right now, waiting for all your questions to be answered. So just shoot whatever you need to ask. Okay.
Right. So back to you guys here at the business section, right? So tell me, I know that V-Not has been doing this like quite frequently during MCO because I've seen some of his videos. So this is not his first time, definitely, right? Vignesh, is this your first time?
For Curtin?
For like webinars, so it's like your first time doing webinars?
Day in, day out.
You always, because it's HR, yeah. You know, you have to watch, you know, keep doing HR stuff, right? So
now you know why I don't. Now you know why I don't smile too much, right? Because you know it's always about work.
Smile for us, you know. Smile for Curtin, okay?
Smile for Curtin. I like that. That's a nice tagline.
Right? Such a pro. Okay.
We got something coming right now. Okay, so yes. Just not the question.
We got a winner. Wait, I want to hear what they say first. Right. So
because there's too many people commenting right now, you know. So
wait. Okay. Vignesh, how's your experience with us for Curtin for this webinar? We start with Vignesh.
It's me, okay, right. So firstly, I'd like to congratulate Curtin and of course all of you to having, you know, organizing this because, you know, back in my days, we never had all this, right? So I think it's a great exposure. It's a very insightful session. I'm sure it would help a lot of what they call future graduates. So I think it's a very good session, very, very informative. Right, so I think it's very well done. As far as my experience is concerned, you know, the only difference is, you know, usually I do this physically, and now I'm doing this virtually. So yeah, exciting.
Thank you so much. Right, V-Not.
It's been great. You know, it's been quite nostalgic for me as well. Seeing Hui here. Curtin is such a sweet spot in my life. So yeah, then watching all the videos before this, because I was tuning in to all the videos you guys are putting up and seeing all the familiar faces. So yeah, it's been really nice to sort of come back to Curtin and do this webinar. And anyone watching this webinar, seriously, Curtin is a great university. I had the best time there, and I love it. So, and I'm not just saying this because they're not paying me to say it, but I'm just saying this honestly that it is the best time. Yes.
All not getting paid, you know. So yeah, this is a freebie. Because of passion. Yes. What about you? What is your experience?
So basically, my experience is that I actually really enjoy throughout my undergrad, although there are just little time that is a bit stressful because of a lot of assignment. Yeah, sometimes I procrastinate a bit. So yeah, I learned from my mistake that to not procrastinate, then I can actually enjoy a lot of part of my uni life. Like there's actually a lot of like leadership camps or even going out to community surveys, doing all those things. There's a lot of events and projects in Curtin that we can participate and help a lot of people and expand our network. So that's where actually I really enjoy to be in Curtin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yay. Okay.
So Curtin keeps you busy, eh?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
I was talking with Jane just now in the studio, right? So one thing, the most memorable part of me being in Curtin is that after all the hard work, you know, with all the assignments and all the long hours in the classes and everything like that, it's just that it reminds me on the time when during my graduation, my graduation is in Perth. So it was like 14 days straight, and every single night we have fireworks. It's like every single night fireworks. I'd be like, wow, Curtin, so much money.
All right, so let's announce our winner. Wait, Joe, let's announce our winner first. Our winner for the answer to how many years has Curtin been in Malaysia, right?
Yes.
21, right? 21
the correct
in Malaysia.
answer is 21 years.
Right.
So
Oh,
winner
wow.
Yes.
I never knew that.
Ruben,
Brandon Lee.
Right, let's give him a round of applause, guys.
So
Yay.
Mr. Ruben, okay, Curtin
The team will be in contact with you. Awesome. And Vinod, you were saying about graduation. What do you want to say about graduation?
No, I was just saying that although my graduation was nice, it was in Miri, but it wasn't as good as Prof's graduation, I would say. There was no fireworks. It was just...
mine too. Mine has no fireworks too.
Yeah, here you go, degree, congrats, bye.
Cannot play fireworks, so it's not Curtin Malaysia's fault.
This year, Curtin, come on, let's do it.
Alright, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you.
Thanks for having us here.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Thank you.
Are you looking for a university that offers quality, innovative courses and in an incredible location here in beautiful Borneo? You should be here.
Now, the Curtin Business School courses we offer are accredited by the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business.
Now, due to Curtin's strong ties with industry, our graduates have been able to secure diverse and interesting positions all around the world. That's why you should be here. So here we are at the Faculty of Humanities. We have courses which are forward-thinking, practical, creative, and relevant to society. We offer a Bachelor of Arts Mass Communication degree and postgraduate studies by research in media, culture, and creative arts. And within all these courses, students can tailor their studies to suit their particular career goals. That's why you should be here. So here we are in the Faculty of Engineering and Science, where all courses are accredited by Malaysian and Australian authorities. In addition, industry assists us in the formulation of those courses, and this gives the students a great opportunity for work placement in this oil and gas hub of Miri, and that is why you should be here.
We also have foundation studies
for preparation for your degree in arts, commerce, or engineering and science. This university has a wonderful staff-student ratio, and we have a state-of-the-art facility technologically and in teaching and learning. And that's why you should be here. Okay, we've come to the end of our little brief tour of Curtin Malaysia, and I hope you enjoyed it. And it only remains for us to say...
All right, welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome.
Yes. So we're on to our last session today.
Yeah.
It's our mass communication session. You know what? I wanted to study mass comm when I was much younger.
You see, then why you didn't go for the
Because
mass
my
comm?
dad told me, right, finance and marketing, right, it's a good choice as well. So that's why I studied finance and marketing.
I think it's just the Chinese thing in you.
I know,
also.
right? It's like what Jerry said earlier, you have to be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer to, to pass the family to me, right?
Okay, all right. So yes, a lot of people just sometimes when I talk about Curtin, a lot of people just ask, Dean, why Curtin? Why not some other universities? Okay, is it like just because you are from there? I mean, yeah. First and foremost, yes, because I was from Curtin and I know what exactly that I'm talking about, right? So the thing is that Curtin itself, okay. We have about 230 over 1,000 graduates, the whole wide world.
Yeah, our alumni family
Yes,
is really
okay,
huge.
so,
230,000.
230,000,
Right?
that's a
That's
lot.
a big family that we have.
Yeah, so a lot of people think that Curtin is a young university. No, it's not. Okay, if you say Curtin actually goes all the way back, a long,
50
long
years,
way
yeah,
back.
during wait time.
Yes, during wait time. It's
Western Australia
Institute of Technology.
right.
Then it changes into
Curtin University of Technology.
Yes, yeah. Okay, all right. So the thing is, wherever you are, in whichever campus in the world, okay, once you graduated as a Curtin graduate, you will still receive the same
You can't tell the difference.
Okay, it is the certificate.
There's
from
one
Australia.
certificate, right?
Yeah.
One certificate.
It's not like okay, Curtin Mauritius, Curtin Miri. No, okay. The certificate you will be graduated with Curtin Australia itself. Okay.
Right.
So, and one thing for sure, in Curtin, you don't need to waste so much time. Okay.
Can they join when they're SPM?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, right? You see, if you look at the Malaysian public universities, okay, before you go into a degree program, you need to go into the diploma program or even into matriculation and some other pre-universities programs that will take at least about one years and a half years or 2 years. Okay, so but for Curtin University, you can straight away enter into its degree program.
It's a foundation. You have a 1-year foundation.
Yes, right after the SPM, you will go into the foundation program, which is about 1 year. But
and then you get a direct entry.
Actually, you can what do you call that? Shorten the timeline.
Yeah, take more subjects.
Yeah, you can take more subjects.
I actually finished my degree in 2.5 years.
Yeah, same goes with me.
More subjects.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so this is what happening. This is what happened. Both of us, okay, we finishes our degree lesser than 3 years.
Yeah.
So
take a summer course,
that is possible with Curtin.
Okay. That's what's possible.
All right.
Okay,
so
let's move on. Right. Our mass communication session, right. We also have our giveaway, right? Our giveaway, you need to share this live video and hashtag comment Curtin Malaysia to win the giveaway. Yeah. And our last winner will be announced at the end of the mass comm session, right?
So they just don't, if you have any question, straight away ask the counselors. They are online right now.
Yeah,
so look for the link, okay? You just click on the link, they are there.
Right.
Okay.
And then now we're going to introduce you our moderator for our last session. Her name is Cheryl Goh, and she's an online student ambassador for 2020 and student council committee for 2019. Wow. Cheryl, where's Cheryl?
Cheryl?
Hi, Cheryl. Looking great.
Lovely girl.
I can't hear you.
Hey. Oh.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good.
All right.
Fantastic. All right. Tell me, why did you use your mass comm? Why do you? Okay. I'm asking you this question because I'm jealous. You got to study mass comm.
Yeah.
Okay?
Fun course for sure.
Why mass comm?
So it's kind of funny. I didn't after I graduated, I didn't know what to do, to be honest. I wanted to do accounting, and my mom my mom told me like, no, accounting is not for you. And then I'm like, why? And then but I move around and look at you. We talk and then we're all always here and about, you know. And the desk job is like, she was just like, it's not for me. And so she was like, she recommended mass comm. And then you have my dad. He lives in Brunei, so he's like, hey, Curtin is the nearest university, and I could, you know, it's easier. And so that's how I ended up in Curtin. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
And I didn't regret it. It's fun. It's been such a learning experience here.
Wow, okay. And then we have two panelists. These two panelists have quite a big achievement. So I'm going to leave it to you and then take it away.
Sure.
Talk to you later.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Cheryl and I'm taking mass communication. I'm majoring in public relations and corporate screen production. I'm from Kuching, and so yeah, let's welcome. Thank you guys for staying for the last session. By the way, we saved the best for last, right? No, I'm kidding. But let's welcome our first panelists. We have two panelists today. They're both mass comm graduates. They have very different backgrounds, like work background, but they are both very impressive. So for our first panelist, we have Renee Loretta Fung. She is a news personality, educator, and PR consultant. So she is a mass comm graduate from the class of 2008. And she's also from Miri, Sarawak. So she is a news presenter, host, MC, and voiceover talent, as well as an educator at a tertiary institution with specialization in public relations, communications, and events. She's also a PR consultant and newscaster for the English news at Radio Television Malaysia, RTM. And she has also hosted and emceed various events such as conferences, award ceremonies, and graduation ceremonies for corporate government and education sectors. In the corporate sector, Renee has been responsible for PR communications, events, marketing, media relations, and brand development. She also has a passion for leadership development among youth and teaches communications, public relations, events, personal development skills, and English courses at tertiary institutions. So let us welcome the first panelist today, Renee. Renee. Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
It's awesome to have you here. So I see that you actually taught in a institution before. I was wondering what ignited your passion for teaching, because teaching is so hard and I can't even explain anything properly. So yeah, what ignited you?
Okay. Well, a little correction. I was not teaching, but I am still teaching. So basically, I teach yes, I teach tertiary level, which is colleges and universities. So I teach diploma programs and undergraduate programs. As in my brief introduction, you did mention that I teach programs like PR, events, communications, and of that sort. So I didn't get into teaching I didn't plan to get into teaching. In fact, it was very much more an accident. Okay. So what I mean by accident was prior to joining into academic, I was actually in the industry in marketing and communications. But however, I've always been very passionate with youth development. So it was because of one event that we had at my workplace that I actually extended an invitation to a college and invited event management students to participate and be exposed and experience the event for real, because I know they've been only learning in class. So in the end, cut the story short, then that's how the opportunity opened. I wasn't even convinced that I was, I could be an educator, but here I am. I'm still teaching to this date, but I'm quite blessed because I get to teach and I also get to do broadcasting and also doing public relations consultancy all at the same time. So that's a great combo that what I could deliver to the students as well as being in the industry simultaneously. So I think that's a blessing.
That's really awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So before we move on any further, I would like to remind the audience today to share the live video and comment #Curtin Malaysia and win the last giveaway for today. And so let's move on to our second panelist. We have Karen Kwek. She is a freelance TV producer. She's also a mass comm graduate from the class of 2009, and she's from Kuching, Sarawak. She has 12 years of experience in both local and international film and TV productions. She focuses on production managing, producing, and assistant directing across different genres, such as food shows, like some you may have heard of, Celebrity Chef, East versus West, and Cooking for Love. Travel shows like Wonderful Indonesia and Travel for Love, and reality shows. I bet you all have heard of this before. Asia's Got Talent, and Fit for Fashion, The Apartment, and Say Yes to the Dress Asia. She's also involved in the production of drama series Gol and Ginchu, feature film Songlag, documentaries such as My Ghost Story Asia and No Ordinary Family, and also commercials. Karen is always looking for excitement at work and satisfaction from viewers. So let's welcome our second panelist for MassCom session. Hello, Karen.
Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for the intro. Hi.
No problem. Hi. So, and as a producer, right, you always be moving to places. And you said you like you're always looking for excitement at work and satisfaction from your viewers. Would you be able to say the same if I were to put you behind a desk job? Would you think so?
No, I actually can't do desk job. I tried, failed miserably. So yeah, I need to be out, out in the fields doing production rather than a 9-to-5 job. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So as a mass comm, I think we can see here, like Renee and Karen, you both graduated from mass comm background, but you both are working like in a very different perspective, in the industry. So yeah, that's really awesome. So anyways, let's, without further ado, we can go on with the questions. So I guess we'll start with Karen. What is a typical working day or week like for you?
Okay, I don't actually have a schedule per se for work. So like when we are in prep, like pre-pro production and all that. So when we're in prep, it would be the case of being in office, but it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's just as and when we need to be in the office for a meeting, we will be there. And then when it comes to shoot and during production, we could be working from 5 a.m. to 12 midnight, and it goes on and on for as many days as the production goes. And it really depends on what kind of production we are at. If we are in a reality show, we could be working 6 days a week, 12 to 15 hours a day, or even more. Yeah. And if we are doing commercials, it could go up to 24 hours a day of shoot. It does happen once in a while. Yeah, so yes, so there's no specific schedule, I would say, on my daily work routine. Yeah.
It's really just like go big or go home. You had to work long hours or you don't work at all.
Yes, that's very true.
That's very crazy. How about Renee?
A typical day at work, well, I would say mine is, classes, and then classes in the day, and then at night is where I would actually make time for the news. So it's a long day for me. So classes in the day, and then moving forward to doing the night news. So if if anyone actually still watches news on TV, not online, okay, you will notice that I actually do mostly night bulletins because of the schedule that I have. And then also other days and time that I need to arrange for meetings with my clients and doing consultancy. So that's probably typical. So I don't really have a fixed schedule, like get into the office and do this and that. A lot of times it's just me rushing to classes, rushing to the studio, and there's always weekends, working on weekends or public holidays, or having to hey, you gotta fill up a colleague who is not able to show up today. But as you know, being in broadcasting, it means you can't cancel the news. You have to go on, whether you're sick, whether it shines, the show has to go on. So it's either someone replaces you if you're not well, or you have to replace someone for the same case. So that's
it's really hectic.
It can be, but I'm not saying that you don't get your time off. You do, but on a typical day, that's what happens.
I see. So is it like you go to RTM like every night, or it just depends on the schedule?
It is really subjected to the roster that has been given. But even with a duty roster, oftentimes you need to do a bit more. Okay, depending on what is the situation like. For example, for example, like when Mahathir abruptly resigned, right? So that kind of thing, it's something like, oh, somebody has to go on the spot and do it or deliver it, especially those broadcast journalists. So things like that, because when it comes to news, everything has to be current, everything has to be new. You can't afford to cheat and say, let's pre-record it first and then we air it. No, it has to be on the spot. Everything has to be live. So a lot of things are very unpredictable. So you need to always be anticipating and be prepared.
Wow, that's about the same. Like both of you would have to be prepared, Like
Same with Karen too, I believe. So
yes.
All right. So, considering especially you two chose very different career paths. So, what made you choose your career path? So, what made you choose production instead of PR or maybe journalism? Karen, we can go with Karen first.
It has always been my passion to be in film and TV production. Even before I entered Curtin, I was already an intern in a TV production company for 3 months and another 4 months of contract. So it's always been that passion, and I choose to pursue the degree so that I have a degree in hand. And with that degree in hand, which I took 2 years to complete, I was very determined to go back to production. So that has always been at the back of my head. This is what I want to do. Yeah.
Oh, what was the first company that you had a contract with before? I mean, you were working with. Was it an intern? Was it?
Yes, I was an intern. That was my first job in production back in 2006. Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about Renee?
Okay. Why am I in? What am I doing? So that's pretty much the question. As I said, teaching was an accident. But later on, I discovered that I have developed a passion in teaching because it's actually harder to educate than being a PR person, I would say, because we're talking about you molding a human being, and so I got into that by accident, developed a passion in it, and then here I am, I'm still teaching somehow. So now I believe it is a calling, but like I said, I'm quite blessed to be able to still do things in the industry. So I got into broadcasting because somebody made me when auditioning for it. Okay, so I went on not feeling confident, but in the end, because I was auditioning with 300 other people who's professional DJs, professional hosts, presenters and stuff. So I looked at myself like, oh, who am I? And I'm not supposed to be here. But my advice is never underestimate yourself. Okay, what I did was I went there and just be myself. So I would advise every one of you who's into this line, just do it. Don't worry about whether you get it or not. So once I got into it, it turns out to be a very fun job, very interesting. So, and I'm still doing it. You can just be yourself, especially if you have a very outgoing and bubbly personality, and you're not afraid of the camera, you're not afraid to communicate with anyone. So you should go for it if you dream about it. And doing consultancy is something that I feel really fulfilling, where you can work alongside a client that really needs professional help and advice and work plan for their company. So consultancy, teaching, and then doing broadcasting, all of this is actually part of what I have studied in Curtin, having a mass comm degree from Curtin. So now I'm just having fun doing my job that, most of the time I don't feel like it's a burden of doing a job, but because I'm passionate doing it, so I'm still doing it. And I think I will always be teaching, doing consultancy and broadcasting, as long as I grow old and don't look so bad.
So we can all agree that studying mass comm here, you have such a broad spectrum of jobs that you can choose in the future when you get out. Yeah. So
exactly. You're right, Cheryl. So a lot of times, students who decide to study mass comm, they're not sure what they want to be in the future. For Karen, she's very straightforward, which is great. She's been passionate about production way before she even started her degree in Curtin. That's great, but many students, at young age like that, young adults like that, they don't really quite a direction and very good, like Karen was when she was a lot younger.
Yes,
so
that's true.
So my advice is, when you study mass comm, it only means there's more doors that's opening for you. So you can either do this, do that. I mean, Karen and myself, we're doing different things, but the same degree. So that says a lot with what you can do with your mass comm degree at Curtin.
Yeah, you get to learn like bits and pieces of each and everything: advertising, broadcasting, PR, and film production. Yeah, that's one of the best things about mass comm here, for sure.
Yeah, so it is up to the student what they want to do in the future, what they want to pursue.
Or even if they haven't got it figured out, so they could try it out
along the way. They'll be able to do that.
All right.
As long as don't lose your passion, that's all.
As long as passion is the key word. I say I'm with you on that, Karen.
Passion is money too. No.
With passion, in the end, you only feel like you're having fun doing what you do. I mean, like Karen's job, it takes her working at wee hours on weekends or public holidays on whatever day. So she did say like she doesn't have a typical office hours. You clock in and you clock out. But the thing is, it's not a burden when you're enjoying your task. So you're gonna stay out until 2-3 a.m., but you're doing it out of passion. So that is what any student should find. What is it that they are so passionate about, and pursue that, because once you pursue your passion, you will do really well with whatever your choice in life is.
I agree. So I think I can see that you both love the career paths that you choose for yourselves. So what are the perks? Yeah, what are the perks that you've gotten from your career path? Let's start with Karen then.
The perks. Well, up until today, I think traveling to places that you have not been, or discovering places that is within Malaysia itself and meeting people along the way, that's the perk that you don't actually get if you're doing an office job, for sure. So like the travel shows that I do, I go to places, the documentaries that I do, I meet people of different backgrounds. You hear stories from people that you're interviewing. So that gives you an experience that you don't get when you are studying, and you don't get when you are just in your office space. So that will be
Were you sponsored For your
Yes, of
trips?
course.
Your trips?
Yes.
Ah, that's the most awesome
So,
part too.
yes, that's true. You get to fly, you get to be in a country, everything is paid for, but you just gotta work.
I mean, you get to work hard and you get to play hard, right?
Play hard is a bit difficult when it comes to when you're in that country for a recce, or you're in the country for shoot, because there is actually no time for that. But at least that peak of what that place is about, what you can do there next time. Maybe you want to plan for a holiday back into that place, but at least you get a glimpse of the country, you get a glimpse of the people in that place. Yeah.
Yeah, the cultural, all of that.
Yes.
That's good knowledge. How about Renee? What are your perks in
My
when you're
perks. Well, I don't know perks in which which job that I'm doing, but I think let's talk about teaching first, because I'm also I look at myself as an educator instead of a lecturer, because I think as an educator you do way beyond than just delivering lectures and marking assignments and setting up exam questions papers for students. So being an educator, as I was saying, like you're basically molding an individual's life. That you are preparing someone to face the workforce, to be in the industry, and by preparing I mean that that they should be able to discover themselves and do the best that they can with the potential that they have. And one of the challenges is to dig out that potential in students, very good students, because not everyone knows what they want to do. So perks of doing that is, I think, a simple thank you from students who actually realize what you do and what you give to them, the sacrifices that you make for them, the extra hours that you put in for them. And I think as a news personality, people tell me it's glamorous to be on screen. In the beginning, I thought it was, but now I felt like, I just want to go in and get my makeup done, get my hair done, and
get it over with.
Yeah, get it over with, and get out of there, once you're done, and then leave. But it's wonderful working with clients when it comes to consultancy, though, whereby it's really interesting to see, the actual problems that they face as a company, especially with the constantly changing environment and world of business, with the emergence of, social media, digital marketing, etc. So I look at learning and gaining and developing new knowledge on that is an advantage. So, because every day we shouldn't be taking it for granted. Like, I know what I'm doing. So you read the textbook, you think you know everything. You don't. You got to do it. Right,
Yeah.
Karen does everything not based on book.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Yeah, I think people really overlook at how important it is to be an educator. Like you're molding, the students and preparing them for the future. I think that's really great. That's really important.
That's absolutely right. We're talking about molding someone at an age level that perhaps you don't have a chance to mold. Maybe they have developed certain behavior, attitude, personality at that age level. But I'm not saying it's successful. It's 100% successful rate. Yeah. So only those who actually also willing to be helped and to be better. Yeah.
So would you guys say, like, with all those experiences, were you able to what you've learned in Curtin? Were you able to apply those skills and what you've learned in Curtin, outside of your career? Like in your career, like now? Karen, maybe.
I guess what we learn in Curtin is we're pretty hands-on. Like when you are doing the production, the production modules, we are all given cameras, we're all given editing machines for us to go out and create content. That part, yes, that part of the learning process it applies to the outside world. But I guess the most important thing for current students and future students to understand that what you learn in school, these are basic. But when you head out the real world,
you have to start from zero. And whatever you learn is just tiny piece of the puzzle. Yeah. So, but then at the same time, I feel that you gotta go in Curtin itself, do co-curricular activities that will help build your presentation skills, your communication skills. Hence, that's why when I was in JCLA, I was taught this kind of skills. How to start a project, how to manage the project, and how to end the project. And if things are thrown in your way, like our project we're supposed to finish in half a year. Instead, we took 2 years to complete the JCLA project. But in between, we are taught how to solve skills, how to solve problems. Then this skill, we bring it to the real world. And when you are at work, when you're on shoot, things happen. Out of the blue, when you're on shoot, then something might happen. And how do you solve that skills? How do you solve that problem? So that particular skill, I actually learned it from Curtin, learned from JCLA. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like, I was in Student Council 2019, and that was the first time I ever joined in anything in Curtin, like that, like an organization. And I learned so much from joining that. Like, you learn how things go, and yeah, it just helps develop you professionally and personally so much too. Yeah.
Yeah, because mass comm is not a very book-based study. So it's more of street smart than book smart. So for mass comm students, that is very important. You have to get yourself out of the classroom, go out there, experience things out there for you to create content, because creativity comes from the experience that you have around you, not based on books.
That's true. Yeah. How about Renee?
Okay, what have I learned? What have I applied in the real world from what I study in classroom? I think same as Karen. I mean, what we learn in classroom and what we are being taught in classroom. And I say this also as an educator. Those are very basic. Those are very theoretical. And a lot of times you have to put yourself in a situation where you will gain exposure and make your own experience, build your own experience. So it takes initiative. So, but as mass comm student in Curtin, we were given the chance to actually be more practical with the camera equipments and stuff. Yeah, so the equipments that was used for our assignments and everything. So we learned the basics. But the truth is that, let's talk about the studio that I'm in right now for news. It is absolutely nothing like what we learned
is it bigger?
Oh, it's definitely bigger. I wish I have a video to show and what I do have in my phone. So we're talking about. I think Karen would have more technical knowledge on this. We're talking about cameras, lighting. So what I did was, it's not like what we used to do in Curtin as a student. You just carry your tripod around and bring in your camera with one hand. This is not that. This is actually cameras that is being controlled movement, panning and stuff from a gallery in a separate room. So the studio is empty. So it's actually just me, the presenter. So it's actually a very lonely job. So everything is controlled from a gallery. So to have like maybe have an idea on how different it is from classroom. Okay, but learning basics in classrooms, and the actual thing is, I asked the the technical guy once, like, how much is one camera for news, like very simple news setting in the studio. So he told me like, do you know how much is a BMW 3 Series? I'm like, kind of, I have an idea. Okay, so that's about between like 3 Series to like 5 Series BMW. I'm like, one camera? He said, yeah, one camera. So in one studio, okay, they should have 3 to 4 camera. And then that's not including the lighting. So apparently one light costs slightly cheaper than 3 Series BMW. So that's what I was told. Yes, of course, there's a lot of money. So not to mention the little things like the microphone or whatever, and so that's an idea. I hope students or prospective students get an idea on like when you're holding that cameras, that tripod, and even the editing, editing room that you have in classroom. There's just basics that you need, that in the industry, it's massive. It's really massive. I mean, even the voiceovers room is, I don't know what the guy's doing. There's like so many buttons. I usually just go in as a mass comms graduate. Doesn't mean that I know all these buttons, but I go in and I ask, abang, apa ni? Abang, tu apa? Ni lampu, ni volume, ni whatever, ni, all that. So it's a big thing. So please go out there, get yourself exposed, read more, and do volunteer more for projects. Get to see more things and experience more things, because you got to create values for yourself. As students, you don't have values, so you have to build something when you're ready to go out there.
Yeah, Curtin. Well, at least Curtin, definitely just provide you the basic, but at least you get to you get to hold, you get the basic idea for it, but definitely you have to go out and explore more for that.
Absolutely. You can't rely on just classrooms and your lecturers and textbooks alone. You have to go out, and if no one is coming to you, knocking on your door for the opportunity for exposure, you find it. You have to be proactive.
Yes. So it sounds like I've heard from Karen, I don't know about Renee, but you've been very active in Curtin. So what would be like which Curtin experience personally do you appreciate most?
Me. Was that?
Renee,
okay.
Go first now.
Okay. For me, it's definitely Curtin volunteers. As a new student back then, one of my earliest fun experience then was during orientation. So I don't know how, it was proud. So, Miss Orientation year 2000 something on the first semester. So I thought that, being a part of that actually opened my interest on taking part of more activities or clubs in the, in university. So I joined in Curtin Volunteers. I'm not sure if they're still around. But at the time I was one of the members. So we did a lot of projects. Typically, those days we would.
Did you guys work for Borneo Jazz Festival? Was it you guys?
Not yet.
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
No, not yet. A bit too old batch lah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was some of the fun, memorable experience as a student there. Not to mention being members of other clubs like Rotary Club and stuff. Going to meetings, going to after class, juggling that assignment, and then you're also at the age of like you just want to be hanging out with your friends.
All right. How about Karen? So you were in Curtin Volunteers as well.
Not directly. I was kind of their designated photographer, videographer back then. So I wasn't really involved with all the management or the organization of anything with relation to Curtin Volunteers. But they approached me to do the photos, videos, and but I guess to me JCLA was the highlight of my studies in Curtin, because I was the first batch of JCLA. We did a very, very big project, which cost 30,000 ringgit for a solar panel system for a longhouse in like 8 hours away in Ulu Baram. So that was the highlight of my study in Curtin, and I'm very, very proud of being a part of JCLA and being a part.
I remember that project, Karen.
It's a very, very big project, and I guess all 8 of us who were in this team together, we do keep contact with each other. Some of them are in KL, some are in Singapore, one is in India, one is in Europe.
Lovely.
And no matter what, we come back and we talk about it. It's something that we are very proud of, and there were so many obstacles along the way to complete this project. It took 2 years to complete it. And all the problems that we face, we learn how to fix the problems, and that's where all 8 of us are where we are right now, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So actually, I see a question from the audience. A really interesting question. Yeah. So, how much creative freedom should students have in, say, a university type production when they want to touch on a more sensitive subject that aren't normally discussed about in public settings? Shouldn't we push boundaries to progress? So yeah, definitely. Thank you, Marvin, for giving that comment.
That's a really good question.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyone, yeah, Karen and Renee, you guys can just jump in and yeah.
Renee, you can go ahead.
Well, I see that he's asking much more about what do you call university type production. So they want to touch about sensitive subject. Actually, this is one of the many things that I would talk about in my class with my students. For me, when I come in with my students, I don't stop them from being creative. I allow them to be as creative as they can, give their ideas, because I believe in you're young. If you're young, you're creative, pour it out, because the industry would want a talent like you. So I think when it comes to a university level, okay, so if students are not allowed or forbidden to be creative, then I don't see the point on how we can progress.
Definitely.
When it comes to the task, when they're ready to face society, then they will have this mindset of like, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this because it's, you know, it's too sensitive or to whatever. But of course, if we're talking about a very super sensitive, say, I don't know, race or religion or politics and like that, it's a case-to-case basis. Let's assess the topic, what they want to talk about. But otherwise, if it's too sensitive, then there's always a way on how you can maneuver so you can still proceed. Most importantly, the idea has to be, bringing positive results or outcome, or creating awareness, or bringing new knowledge to someone else. So there's always a creative way to approach it. So for me, I think I'd say students shouldn't be
be able to
creative. Yeah, they shouldn't be. Yes, they shouldn't be stopped from being creative. I think let them be as creative as they can. If it is too sensitive in our local settings of the country, which I totally understand, okay, but there's always a way on how you can redirect the message.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
think
agree
that's a
with
great
Renee. Yeah,
Yeah.
because creativity is subjective. There's no right or no wrong in creativity. So like if let's say someone say, you know what, your idea is not good enough, don't take that as something negative. You know, move forward and try to think about something out of the box, because doesn't mean one person disagree with your idea, everyone else is going to disagree with your idea. So if A doesn't work, then the idea can go to someone else. Yes. So don't restrict.
It's good that Karen bring up, like, just because someone turned your idea down, so don't be demotivated and stuff. Because what you need to know is anticipate rejections. Because not everything your ideas or you think you have great idea, you think you're the most creative person among your peers, but at the end of the day, it may not be the best one to someone else. So assume that you're having a job, and then you tell your boss, you pitch this idea or you brainstorm something, you thought of something, and then if it's rejected, that's fine. Move on and then come up with a new one, or just modify your idea. At the end of the day, creativity, there's no formula. Karen said it's very subjective. It's not going to be wrong, it's not going to be right either. And ultimately, the person that you present the idea to could be a bit sensitive to your idea, but it doesn't mean that your idea is wrong. It's just that it's not acceptable in certain settings, that's all.
I definitely agree. Yeah. So let's hop on to the next question. For you, both they're very different industries. What would you say are the current emerging trends in your industry? Let's go with Karen.
Now there are actually people are going towards social media. So TV, I would say TV is it's slowing down in a certain sense because a lot of people now move to doing YouTube videos, or through the MC or TikTok videos is like the in thing.
Yeah.
And anybody with a camera, basic camera knowledge, basic editing, they can create videos.
Yeah.
So I guess from TV point of view, maybe we need new people, like graduates or upcoming students who are coming to pursue mass communication to come out and be in the industry to create more new ideas for TV, so that TV don't die. Because everybody's going to YouTube, social, digital, and all that. So that is the imaging trend actually. Like everything's online. But like for myself, I have been in the TV industry, so I would love to see TV grow,
Again,
continue
yeah.
growing, despite digital being the upcoming trend right now.
That's a really interesting, definitely, like people just watch Netflix now instead of tuning
Yes.
into TV.
Mhm. That's true.
What about Renee? What are your...
Okay. All right. What Karen has just said was exactly what I wanted to say about, about emerging trends. So yeah, I'm having a big smile on my face hearing Karen saying that, because that means we really need creative heads out there for this new era of entertainment or in media, in mass comm. So be creative. This is why I stress out a lot on, I don't think students should be controlled or forbidden to be, a lot more creative in their assessment, because once they're out in the industry, nowadays with digital marketing, with social media, and it's so wide, and everyone has gadgets, right? Everybody have a data plan, have a Wi-Fi. You go to Kopitiam, you have a Wi-Fi, which is, before you go to Kopitiam, you look for, mee soup, or, but now you can connect Wi-Fi to Kopitiam, and you see at dinner table, even children at ages not my time before, not supposed to be holding a electronic gadget, they already have their own. So it's really crazy. So everyone is just in this. So how you can proceed is to be in trend, is be creative. We need more creativity. Now, to be famous, to be a star, you don't need TV anymore. You don't need to be appearing on TV shows. You can make yourself a superstar. Then you just talk, buy a camera on Shopee, maybe, 100 ringgit, a digital camera, and then put it on your laptop, and then you make a video, upload it on YouTube. You're a star, but provided that you are really good with your content. And how can you come up with a good content? Is your creativity. So you make yourself a star. So now we talk about, unconventional jobs, 9 to 5, no more. This generation is now working on, I am my own boss. I just need to be creative. I'm cool. I just need to make video. I go to a waterfall to work. Why? Or to shoot. So I upload on my YouTube channel. I'm a social media influencer. What do? I put makeup on to show my followers and how to put a wing eyeliner, and you're a star. So it's all about the content. It's also about how you deliver it, the message. So creativity is what we need. So that's the emerging trend in the industry. So guys, those of you who are still in the university or planning to take out a program, I believe creativity is not restricted to only being a mass comm student, but also it's applicable to any type of programs that you wish to pursue.
Awesome. I feel like we've come a long way. Well, today we've talked about so many things in mass comm. So let's leave. Before we leave, let's give a sweet, short advice for the students, future students, who want to pursue a career in this field. Let's go with Karen.
Okay. First and foremost, you need to have a burning passion to be in the industry, because that's where that the passion is going to bring you. Because otherwise, there's no time for you to sleep. So your sleepless night, the stress, the sudden heart attacks that you get along the way when you're on a trip is going to break you into pieces. So the passion of wanting to produce, wanting to be a part of a team that creates a content that the audience loves, the audience really like for example, Asia's Got Talent. Everyone knows about Asia's Got Talent. So being a 1 out of 300 over people in the production to create Asia's Got Talent with that passion, it goes like, wow, when you see your name come in, on the ending credits and all that, you feel proud of what you have done. But without that burning passion, it will break you in an instant. Because the long nights, the long days, long nights, and all that, it's something that you don't learn in university. So as a student or a new student in mass communication, I would advise that during your breaks, during summer breaks, during your semester breaks, go out there. Doesn't matter that you're in East Malaysia, in Sabah, Sarawak, but put yourself out there. Find production companies that is keen to take you in as interns and learn, because that's the only time you get a chance to learn. Because the moment you get out of the real world and you are paid to do production assistant, that's where you start PAs. It's a bit difficult for people to teach you because you are paid to do so.
They expect you to already know.
Yes. So when
because
you have
paying you a salary, so that means you should know how to do your job.
Yes.
So Karen is right.
So when you have the opportunity, find production companies in KL, especially because KL is the center of production in Malaysia. There are production companies in Sabah and Sarawak, but maybe you can start from there first, and then you proceed on to KL.
Build your way up.
Yes, build your way up. Learn from the production companies as an intern. Learn the different genres of TV and film production, and then once you're out there, once you graduate with a degree, then go out. Don't stop learning. So every single project, even up until today, 12 years in the industry, I am still learning. Every single project, there is always something for you to learn. So never stop learning. That's my advice.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Lifelong learning, as Curtin has that philosophy. Lifelong learning. It never ends. You will always learn, no matter where you are, how old you are. There's just always something new, and so just keep on learning.
All right. Thank you both the panelists. It's so awesome to have you guys today. It's an honor. So it's been a long day actually. How are you guys feeling?
Good.
So far, so good. Yep. We can actually go on,
Malcolm. Yeah, we definitely can.
We designate today for Curtin,
Yes.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I guess now it's time to bring back the hosts. Yes. Let's welcome Jane and Dean back to
Hi.
Hi, Jane.
Hello.
Hi, Prof. How's Prof?
Cheryl.
Sadruddin.
Hi, Renee.
Hi.
Renee and I actually met in tertiary education. We taught together.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
we taught at the same institution years ago.
Wow.
Small world, isn't it? Small world.
So basically, it's like you pushing, you will stumble around.
You go back to the same circle.
And the fun part is we're all like from Curtin University, right?
Yeah. Again, you're from where? Curtin.
Yes, awesome. Wow, that's an amazing session. We learned so much from you guys. It was amazing. So we actually have a winner for our question.
Yes,
the person that shared and then hashtag Curtin Malaysia. So the winner is
Regnis Lau.
Regnis Lau. Yes. Do you get your name right? We hope you got your name right. Yes. Regnis Lau, congratulations. Curtin will be in touch with you. All right. And we have our last giveaway question, right? This giveaway question, right, is for anyone who can answer, right? Within what percentage of universities worldwide is Curtin University ranked in the academic ranking of World Universities ARW 2019? Okay, the 21st comment, right, will win. Okay, so the answer is top
1%.
percent. So hurry up, type it in, right?
Type it in. Okay, you can spam.
You can
Just
spam as
all
long
the
as
way.
you're 21st, because
So
Curtin
the
is already 21 years
Yeah,
old, right?
the 21st comment with the right answer will win the prize.
Right, good luck. Okay, so I'm sure you guys, Renee and Karen, you guys are always doing this on your day in, day out kind of thing, right? So how does it feel to do one for Curtin?
It's actually my first.
I should be asking the two of you that.
Us?
How does it feel to be doing so well for Curtin as alumni to Prof and Jane?
Well, this is our first webinar,
Yeah, actually, this is the first time we
Exactly. That's why the question should be addressed to you. So you guys have pulled in, selected panelists for 3 different programs of that Curtin is offering. So I would say well done and congratulations to you guys.
Oh, thank you so
guys
much.
all need like a pat on the back, go celebrate after this ends.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
We see a lot of answers coming in for the questions, right? Don't forget to write top. Because if you don't write top, right, your answers are disqualified.
So anyway, let's do this again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this again. So how does it feel? I say firstly, thanks for bringing us together. Like Karen and I, we were in different years, but different batch, but kind of knows each other, right, Karen?
Yeah.
But we never really had the chance to be in the same class, though. Senior, older. Yeah, thank you for bringing us together. So how does it feel? I think the feeling of when people ask you did you learn to do this? I said, well, I did in uni. So what did you learn? Which uni did you go to? And then you say, I learned mass comm in Curtin. And then they're like, oh, some say oh, Curtin, I know Curtin. So you kind of have that kind of like pride of affiliations towards your university, so that's great. You feel a great pride and and always in debt for the knowledge and experience, the basics that you have gained from the classrooms and the lecturers. I will never forget the lecturers. I mean, without them, I would never have passed my papers and get a degree, right? So, yeah, but thank you to all the lecturers that have taught myself, and meeting the friends. And then, being out here makes it a bit more, being young those days, and coming out here gives you a bit more confidence to know that you have a paper backup. Yeah. So thanks, Curtin, for that.
Karen, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with Renee. Our lecturers were there to guide us, through these years that we were in Curtin, and never stop. They never stop our creativity. They keep, pushing us projects after projects. If they think that we are a little bit lag behind on our ideas, they will guide us along the way. And also that, Curtin gives opportunity to the students, not only in the classroom, but outside of the classroom. That is something very, very important, because before I entered Curtin, I was in another college for diploma. It was just solely classroom for 3 years. And I didn't really enjoy it until when I entered Curtin. And then there were so many other opportunities out there, other things that I can do out of class, because I can't be confined in a class. So that was something something that I learned. And until today, yes, I do see billboards about Curtin being ranked as top universities in Malaysia, in KL, along the highways in KL. I have been noticing that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very proud of becoming a student from Curtin, and I do actually go back to the campus once in a while. I filmed the graduation last year, and a couple of years ago, I actually went back to give a quick, something like this, something like a question and answer session, a random question and answer session. I'm not sure if Cheryl, you were there, but I think there were about about 4 years ago, I guess. Yeah. So, but this is my first webinar. And thank you for having me and to share my experiences in Curtin and my experiences now in the industry, because I believe students there they need to know what they're going to face in the real world after they graduate. Yeah.
Just one quick question, okay? Who is your favorite lecturer last time?
Let's hear about this.
I do.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing when it comes to your teachers, your lecturers, right? Now, you think after you're done, you will not get into trouble. But the thing is, even after you're done, you will still get into trouble. So, it is a bit, you have to be a little bit like careful. Well, I would say all the lecturers, being a lecturer myself, I think now I understand better. They all have their different style. So I think favorite, I would say, the one was very strict in class, and at the same time, you're having so much fun in their class. And then you also go home and you're like so scared and you have to do the assignment on time, not asking for extension because you just dare not walk into the office and like, can I have 1 day extension? But you love the class and you want the class.
Excuse now.
Yeah, so that lecturer, so I think one of the very fond memories in classroom that I had was definitely with now Dr. Sham.
Wow. She remembers the lecture, okay? You didn't catch her that one.
Must leave a very big impact to her, So anyway, to all audience, okay, so just remember that all the counselors are still online until 10 p.m. today. So you just need to click on the link. Okay, if you want to ask further information, okay, what's going on, okay, how to get into Curtin, what are the basic requirements, how long it will take, what kind of cost that involves, what kind of biasiswa or sponsorships that you can get as well to get to be a student in Curtin. Yes, actually Curtin have a lot of supports, financial supports, and also some sponsorships, scholarships as well. Right. So just inquire in, just ask the counselors. Don't be shy, just go into the live chat.
And they'll be here until 10 p.m.
Until 10 p.m.
Yeah,
today.
the live course counselors will be on the live chat until 10 p.m.
Correct. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So
winner.
Yes, we had the winner already.
Okay,
so,
I know you've been spending a lot here. I saw that
I think the comments is already like almost
blown up
already.
Marvin Abel.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Mr. Marvin.
Marvin Abel, congratulations. Thank you for spamming us. Thank you for typing top 1%. Yes, super accurate, super amazing. So we hope that you enjoyed our session. 3 hours, 3 different sessions: engineering, business, and also our mass communication session. We have our 6 panelists. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we hope that you guys had fun. One last question for Cheryl. What did you learn from your 2 senior alumni here? What's one key takeaway?
It wasn't too deep, but they've given me several reality checks, and how broad it is to study mass comm here, and how actually people there's a misconception where mass comm is the easiest unit. Easiest course. No. They have no idea what they're talking about.
I wish.
Yeah, it's a lot of tough work, and I've learned so much from Karen and Renee. Thank you so much for having me as well. Yeah, it was a great experience and great discussion that we had.
Well done to you too, Cheryl. I think my advice to you is just keep on having the right attitude. You'll go really far.
Thank you.
I agree with Renee 100%.
Yeah, and always remember to stay humble, and always be willing to learn, and don't be afraid of hard work.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much to Curtin Malaysia. Thank you so much to our team who has put in a lot of work. You don't know how much work goes into a webinar.
Yes. Okay. Our background groups are very, very like
Our
okay.
back end is amazing. Thank you so much. Right.
They've done a lot of work. Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic job.
Jean, Arthur, and his
Yes.
team. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Have a good weekend. Thanks for
You
having
too.
us.
Bye.